Primetime, that's the name.
Primetime.
Primetime.
What time is it? Showtime, primetime.
It's XL Primetime, featuring Joe C.
Why in the world am I sitting back and being quiet about this?
Matt Hayes.
Suck it up, Buttercup.
Mia O'Brien.
My nose just decided to start bleeding.
And Leon Searcy.
Now, you're just talking tomfoolery.
Yeah.
How you like me now? How you like me now?
Well, it's down to the final two. You know who they are. You're getting real familiar with one of them. Legend in the making, perhaps already ready to rise to the level of GOAT status. The magician, Pat Mahomes. And boy, did he make Lamar look ordinary or put so much of a pressure cooker on Lamar that he shrank in the moment. That's for sure. The other side, Brock Purdy stepped up when he needed to the most, down 24-7. The San Francisco 49ers against my Detroit Lions. And as we open up the show, just damn, Dan. Damn, Dan.
Can we get some violins, bro? That was your pick early on.
Yes. Yeah.
I was actually FaceTiming with my parents during the game, and they were like, oh, come on, you got to root for the Lions, although we do love Brock, but like, and I said, if the Lions win, Joe Cowart will do the biggest victory lap in 10-10-XL history.
When they were up 14-0, Joe, I was thinking about you. I said, did Joe lay anything on
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And I got Kenny the bartender to prove it.
Maybe I thought Joe had to just wanted to just enjoy them going to the Super Bowl and not put no money on it. But what do you call them, Matt? What?
Degenerate?
Yeah. And you know what? Honestly, I'll admit this, Leon.
Yes.
I grew fond of them this year. I really did. Like, it
They're
happened.
fun.
Well, listen, they took you to they took you places that you've never been before.
Oh my gosh!
And nearly to the mountaintop.
And you know what? This will be my new crying towel when it comes to gambling, because forever I had the bet where the New Orleans Saints got absolutely hosed. Remember the pass interference that wasn't pass interference, and I got robbed, and it was, I don't know, I can't remember if it was 15-1, and it was something like that. And obviously they'd have to go on to win it, and we saw that was the year, I believe, Jared Goff and the Rams.
You could hedge, though.
Yeah, exactly. And Jared Goff, and then they scored 3 points against the New England Patriots.
Worst Super Bowl
Remember
ever.
that?
Worst Super Bowl ever.
Oh, it was terrible.
It was terrible.
And so anyway, I still had that one. Like, okay, that's the one that I always bemoan. Well, now this is the new one, because this was even greater odds, and this team looked the part. This team looked like they were going to go in there. Anyway, so we've got 9 different ways to attack this, and it just absolutely stinks. And look, you got royalty in Kansas City. You do. That's the Chiefs' kingdom, and there's a reason they say that. And the 49er faithful, because they have so many diehard fans. And both teams did what they needed to do, Leon, to win in the end. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, listen. The first game, the Kansas City and Baltimore game. You know how much I love El Boogie.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like the game plan. All right, I didn't like the game plan because when you go against the Chiefs, the Ravens were trying to be Ali instead of being Frazier. All right, what the Ravens do is muck the game up. They run the ball, they play sound defense, and they put the pressure on you. If you watch that game, and the running backs only got the ball. You know who they remind me of? Us.
Yeah.
When we have success, we run the ball, and all of a sudden it just disappears. That's what happens in the Raven games. You're talking about a team that led the NFL in rushing attempts, all right? They gave the running back ball. I looked at the stat. They gave the running back 6 touches at the run. Lamar had 8, but I'm saying the game was built. Their premise offensively was about their offensive front manhandling the defensive front. And I don't care. They can say, the Chiefs had 7, 8, 9 in the box. So what? Run it anyway. Force them out of it by being an attack style offense. That's what. Listen, when they played against us, when they came in, when we were down what 10-7 or something like that at halftime. Mm-hmm. I was in the box when they came and they asked Harbaugh. They asked me and said, "Hey, what do you need to do differently in the second half?" He said, "We need to get back to run the football. Get back to Ravens football." That's what it was all about. And then they promptly put 250 on us.
Yeah, exactly. Running the ball.
So I just thought in this game that it was just going to be a slugfest on their part. They were going to steal possessions from Patrick Mahomes. They were going to muck it up, and they were going to find a way to win it because their defense played what? If you tell me that the Ravens defense held the Chiefs to 17 points, I'm saying to myself, you've got a shot to win.
Yeah.
But forever, they had a bevy of mistakes and all the other kind of stuff. I think my man El Boogie, he shrank in the pivotal moments of the game where he turned the ball over and all the other kind of stuff. So it was just unfortunate that had to happen in that game.
You said it. It reminded me of it, and I'm sure all of Duval thought the same thing when you said, if you hold the Chiefs 17 points, you got a chance to win it.
Got a chance.
17-10 there, 17-9 here.
Absolutely.
Same exact situation where you felt like you had a chance. Look, we're going to carve it up all the different ways, but what did you like about yesterday? What did you hate about yesterday? You can come at it from a Jaguar point of view. You can come at it just from a football fan's point of view. Is Mahomes a machine? He's starting to look it, that's for sure. 4 of the last 5. Chiefs will be there. So you guys hit it, 641-1010. You can hit the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures or join us on YouTube. You can search 1010XL and offer up a comment there.
This is the Yahoo pop-off chat line. Yahoo!
So 6 rushing plays to the running backs for the Baltimore Ravens.
I quote tweeted it at one point and said, is Press Taylor calling the plays in Baltimore? Because, man, this kind of looks a little familiar.
You can blame their Press Taylor as much as anything. Their offensive coordinator is Todd Monken.
Who I have been raving about, by the way, all season. He's been tremendous.
Look, I'm a fan, and I felt like he did an unbelievable job this year with Lamar in getting him to, like we said, not just take off and run, but keep the body healthy and be able to go down the field.
Well, they dropped back. I was listening to. They dropped back 82% of the time. It was almost like the offensive coordinator was saying is that my MVP is better than yours.
That's what happens, man.
Listen, you're not comparing notes here. You're not comparing. I just felt like in the game plan was like they were like comparing notes. It looked like Monken was saying this stuff. I'm going to show you that Lamar is better than Patrick Mahomes. When that wasn't the game play, that wasn't their style of play the whole season. So why would you do it in the AFC Championship game? Stay to your premise. Stay to who you are. Who you are is a run ball. You run the ball, be physical, all right, play action. Lamar takes shots down the field. Lamar uses his leg every once in a while. He's dropping back more than half the time in the game. And then, what's his name? Spagnuolo, the defensive coordinator, he called a masterful game. He just blitzed them. 5-6 coming at it all the time, different angles, different courses, and it confused Lamar, to be quite honest with you.
And Matt, I said it during the game. Mahomes make you crazy. Mahomes make you crazy. He makes you take extra chances that aren't necessary.
It's true. We all knew you go into the game knowing he's the best player in the league, and it's not even close. Like by far and away, the best player in the league.
It's sickening right now.
So. And I understand all of that, but I want to know why we just quickly glossed over the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know they're your team.
We're going to keep going. We got 3 hours. We're not going to just dispatch.
Team, but
yeah.
That was an epic meltdown of like rare proportions. Seriously,
24-7.
And at the top of the list, clearly, are the 2 decisions to not kick the field goal by your head coach. Okay, there were so many other little issues. Okay. So many other little issues.
I did open with damn, Dan. Okay, so.
Including, Reynolds. Those 2 drops, honestly.
Yeah.
Those 2 drops, if you're a Lions fan, as much as Campbell's decisions, you're like, wow.
I'll put it to
Jahmyr
you this
Gibbs,
way.
you could understand the fumble. It was a bad handoff. His arms weren't right. He didn't have his arms set the right way. There was all kind of problems there, okay? But, man, you got to catch that ball. Mm-hmm. If you have 2 hands on the ball, you got to catch it.
Yeah,
the 4th down throw was a little more difficult to catch, but he should have caught it. The 3rd down throw, when they were literally bleeding out in the game, they had to have the 1st down. Right in his gut, and he dropped it.
In his mitts. And the other thing is I'm trying to remember, I believe, I wish I knew who it was on the sidelines. Anyway, they were telling him that he was not catching with his hands, that he was trying to catch it with his body, and it got him. So there are 4 candidates for poster childs for L's, okay, in these 2 games. Poster childs for L's. Zay Flowers.
Oh.
Zay Flowers.
I have a defense of that.
And
he's trying to make a play. I don't mind that. He's trying to make a play.
Zay Flowers also, at that point, they had 116 receiving yards. He had 97 of them.
Oh, listen.
They are not in the game.
He was trying to get in the end zone. I don't have a problem with that.
No, I'm just saying.
I'm talking about the taunting call.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, I'm just talking about poster child.
That was stupid.
Okay, because first off, the Baltimore team as a whole melted down. Look at the penalties they gave to the Chiefs before the half that allowed them to, at the very least, get to 10 and ultimately take control of the game. That was just really immature, lacking discipline type of stuff from a number of different guys, including Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen. They're all pro guys. And then in the second half, Flowers loses it. A couple of other guys lose it. And you can easily argue Lamar throwing into triple coverage, Zay with the PI, and then obviously trying to make a play, but he fumbles it. Todd Monken with the game plan. And then you go to the San Francisco, Dan's decisions to go for it, to keep going for it. And then, like Matt mentioned,
or to not go for it at the end of the first half. If you're gonna go for it in those situations in the second half, why would you not have gone for it at the goal line right there at the end of the first half?
And so, look,
because you don't put the team in a bad situation because they don't get the ball back.
Yeah, I was okay. And look, we've all argued about these fourth down decisions going into the locker room, and I was all for Doug when he went for it after the big play that Zay Jones made inside the 5. Well, they weren't organized. They didn't do a good job of it. But the Detroit Lions have gone for it on fourth down a bunch and have been successful. The numbers say so. 20 of 25, fourth and 3 or less, they go for it and they win 80% of the time.
Right. Those games weren't the NFC Championship game.
Yeah. And by the way, look, I don't even have a problem. You're up big. You go in the locker room, you get your field goal, you get your points, you make them think about it instead of you think about it. But in the second half,
2 scores to 3 scores is what it is.
We're
the
talking,
bad ones when they're down 3,
when you're
and it's like a 48-yarder with 10 minutes left, and it's like 4th and 3. You got to kick there. And also on the last drive, which you guys haven't brought up yet, they wasted so much time knowing they have to get the ball back,
and then
you can't get an onside kick anymore.
When you're up 14 in the second half, and you can go up beyond 2 scores to 17.
Right. Yeah,
that one too. Kick the field goal, man.
Both of them. And, it's like I said, I love Dan Campbell's aggressiveness, his personality, what he's built in Detroit, not just this year, but the time that he's been up there. And he is always going to be that guy. But at the same time, be aware of what's at stake. You know how hard it is to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Be aware of what's at stake.
So let me read the quote, because, Leon, I know you appreciate this, and I appreciate this for everything that went wrong yesterday from Dan Campbell after the game. This may have been our only shot. It's going to be twice as hard to get back to this point next year. Compare that to this team in this town losing to the Chiefs last year and saying, you know what, it stinks, it stings, it's going to sting for a while, but we will be back. And do we believe they'll be back eventually? Perhaps, but that realization of, guess what? You came up this close. You got to do it all again. Oh, and now you're going to have an even more difficult schedule because you won your division.
You know how hard.
Well, yeah. I mean, listen, I have a fond appreciation for getting to the championship game. Now, at one particular time in my career, I had gone to 3 straight, 2 in Pittsburgh and here, 1 in Jacksonville, 94, 95, 96. Only made 1 Super Bowl. So I understand it's hard to get back, especially because a lot has to happen for you. You got to get lucky, all right? Ball's got to bounce your way. The football guys have got to bounce your way. You got to stay healthy. You absolutely got to stay healthy, and you got to have some continuity within the locker room on the field. All that stuff has got to mesh in. It's like a nice pot of gumbo. All right, it's like a nice pot of gumbo. You're right.
You need okra in there, even though you're not sure.
I know you don't like okra, but you got to have the okra and you got to throw some hot sauce in there. But you got to have a nice pot of gumbo, and it's hard to get back. That Detroit Lions, listen, they're going to be good for a very long time because I'm gonna tell you why. They manhandled the 49ers.
Oh, my
that doesn't happen. I used to call the 49ers the boogeyman. No longer. All right? The Detroit Lions up front, when they were up 14-0, I saw holes in that line of scrimmage that was opened up by the offensive line that were beautiful. I'm talking about double teams. I'm talking about Penei Sewell. He's going to be a dog. He is a dog.
And that was against Bosa.
That was against
Armstead,
Bosa.
Young, etc.
Listen, the only time he got pressure, Bosa got pressure on him is when he got a chip. Bosa got a cheap sack on him
and
because he's set. Runway. He's set, and then he saw a linebacker coming in. He came inside, and Bosa came around and made a sack. But he one-on-one against Bosa, he did not get a sack on him.
And, everything was so glorious. Everything was going so great for Ben Johnson, the play caller. He was going to get the job off of this, and everything was going to be great. Then they decided to run the football late and just waste everything. But he had Penei Sewell motion on a play.
I saw that.
It was just gorgeous.
Didn't I see him in a route at one particular time?
Yes,
Was
he
wide
lined up
open?
at tight end.
Okay, that's what
And here's the crazy part, because Bo Valentine at one point looks at me and goes, the Lions go to throw a screen pass, goes for 13 yards. The Jaguars line up, try to execute the same exact screen pass, No, never more than 2 yards this year.
Yeah,
Part of it is getting your linemen out of the line of scrimmage and getting them out into space. So, Leon, can you break that down? Like, what is the biggest hurdle that a Penei Sewell or any offensive lineman coming from their stance along the line of scrimmage to then get out into space? What maybe prohibits a Jaguars offensive lineman from getting out there versus Penei Sewell makes it look easy?
Well, for one, Penei Sewell is a straight up dog. He's a PIMP. All right, he's got good balance. He's got good hips. He stays low and he's fast. I mean, that's what you need. If you for them to trust him to pull out in space so much, that means that he's a hell of an athlete. I mean, he's a hell of an athlete.
He's coming off
because
he's got
to come off the defender. He's got to move in space, and then he's got to adjust his body because you got to remember when you're in space like that, you're going up against mass majority of the time you got linebackers, corners, and safeties, and those guys don't want to get hit. And he's got to move his body and get it in a position to where he makes a play. And then the guy that's running the ball, feeds off of that. So I mean, those are the kind of guys you got to draft. I mean, I think. Now, he's not putting a suit, but I think Anton Harrison has those same credentials. He has the ability to get out in space. He's very athletic. He's good with his feet or whatever. So he has the potential, but he's not on the same level as a Penei Sewell. Penei Sewell is a guy that's going to be a 5, 6, 7 year
another, I guess, feather in the cap for the Lions that you should give a nod to Brad Holmes and what he's done up there is drafting Penei Sewell that high and putting him at right tackle and not being afraid. And the fact that they just have money players across that entire line of scrimmage.
Yeah,
and you go down the line.
Penei Sewell's the best right tackle in the league right now.
Yeah.
The best.
And they were not afraid to go high in the draft. Remember, you can go back and look at those drafts, and everyone was arguing about who should be what. Nah, he's going to play right tackle. You're not going to draft him that high. Well, everything that they've done, at least, and by the way, hey, Trent Baalke, if you are listening, they did have 4 rookies that made impact this year on the Lions team. That actually can happen, rookies making impact. And Penei Sewell is not a rookie, but he has proven that once they drafted him, they, like you said, they plugged him right in, and you can go down the line with all the other guys that they've had up there up front. Now, we're going to talk about these 2 teams, and then we're obviously going to tie it back to Jacksonville. And this team was in it. This team was in the discussion a year ago. As we just said, after they lost to Kansas City, they said, you know what? We've arrived, or at least they had the feeling that they've arrived. The Mahomes magic is undeniable. Undeniable. You had the 2 best defenses in the National Football League going toe-to-toe, ready to just slug it out. And Pat Mahomes made Baltimore's defense, for the most part, look ordinary. How in the hell does this guy complete, 16 of 17 passes to start this bad boy off?
11 in a row.
Yeah, 11 straight. It was just, it's like.
Surgical.
What am I seeing? Okay, what aren't you doing, Mike McDonald? Because the one thing that I thought was the separator is that Mahomes hadn't faced McDonald. Well, guess what? McDonald ain't faced Mahomes.
So I tweeted before the game was over at 5:38 yesterday with 747 votes cast. The Chiefs are inching closer and closer to A, Patriots level of annoying, B, Warriors level of annoying, and with 747 votes cast, 76% said the Patriots. You can't deny if they're to go on to win 3 Super Bowls in 5 years, there's only one team in recent Lombardi Trophy history, Super Bowl era history.
Well, they're the last team to win 3 of 4, so they did it in a shorter amount of time. But, 3.
I mean, but for some injuries on the offensive line, it may have been more.
So here's what's amazing, man.
The Bucs won that. I mean, obviously the Bucs beat them badly, but they literally had a college offensive line out there in that game.
Yeah. But what's amazing is what Baltimore's defense couldn't do to that suspect offensive line,
especially the tackles.
Yeah.
They got 2 of the worst tackles in the playoffs right now. 2 of the worst. And they couldn't get any pressure.
No.
They could absolutely not get any pressure. And the commentator during the game said when Jawan Taylor had that.
I was going to say, you going to get on Jawan?
I'm telling facts.
He did have his 1 penalty.
Yeah, he had the 1 penalty, but he said he was the most penalized offensive lineman in the NFL 2 years in a row.
You know what else he's going to have?
He's going to have another Super Bowl ring.
He's going to have a ring.
Yeah, another Super Bowl ring. Absolutely.
Yeah, so your early lean, why wouldn't you?
Yes.
Why wouldn't you?
I'm done with JJ on my shoulder, little JJ. Believe me, it's
you're
never betting against Mahomes.
This has got to be honestly. This has got to be one of the games where you said, how does he do it, or he's not ever going to be beaten type of feeling, and you guys can let us know what you were thinking.
Yet the line went up to 4.5.
Yeah, it looked like
I was like, what is happening? Am I the only one who watches football anymore?
And so I happily took my teaser bet, which we talked about a bunch, and was extremely happy with that. But it's just so funny because people just keep – now they looked at the Joe Thuney injury, and
that's the thing. People get too inside on this stuff. It's like, hey,
and it was a problem. They had good pressure in the middle.
Who struggles to pass the ball and who's won a playoff game against Tannehill and a rookie in his career. Yeah. The other one, never loses ever. He's potentially the greatest quarterback ever.
Well,
that's all I need to know, man. I don't care about the guard or this or that.
No,
we look way too into this. Football is decided most of the time by the quarterback.
Care about the guard a little bit.
Yeah.
Bro.
I'm just saying, when a quarterback is that much better than the opponent, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, best quarterback
He's
wins.
so much better than everybody else, man. In the Lions-Niners game, you can talk about stuff like that because it does matter. Man, I don't care. If we're talking about the Chiefs, I'm rolling with Mahomes, always.
Well, this is straight quarterback love from JJ that rivals Matt's love for really.
I don't understand why people don't like him.
No,
he's super likable. He never does any off the field stuff. And he's fun as hell to watch.
Like he's Brady-ish. That's why people don't like him.
But Brady was annoying. Brady.
No,
he wasn't.
He did the exact same thing you just
said.
You're
right, I guess. But he.
He was the exact same guy.
You know what,
I guess in interviews, I feel like Mahomes to me seems more likable than Brady.
Well, people are offended by greatness instead of just appreciating it.
True.
Yeah.
I started out I didn't like Brady to start out, but the older he got, the more I respected him.
I just appreciate it now.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I've given up. I'm never betting against Patrick Mahomes ever again.
Yeah.
But Brady also
had. By the way, guess what? He is an underdog again.
There were also other little tentacles around Brady. The cheating scandal, Belichick, who you hate. There was all other things around
him. There was the Oakland Raiders game.
It's not
so much. The Tuck rule
there was so much stuff about the Patriots that you could hate.
Mahomes is very clean, I guess.
I don't know about clean.
Well, I mean,
Taylor
clean
Swift
as in.
Well, that's a new
Taylor's
one.
annoying.
Right, but he has no.
I want to put hot sauce in my eyes every time I see it.
There's nothing he can do about that, bro.
Really? There's nothing you can do about it?
I mean, I guess he could. I guess you could tell Kelsey, hey, man, get your woman out of here.
Yeah. And by the way,
if Mahomes did say she's not allowed in the stadium, she wouldn't be allowed.
Well, here's the thing. Travis Kelsey would ensure she wouldn't be there, just like he ensured Justin Tucker was not in the area that Patrick Mahomes wanted to warm up and was like, I'm going to bully you out of here. It doesn't matter. You're a future Hall of Famer.
The kicker, really?
Yes, because that's the area that Patrick likes to warm up, so I'm going to bully you like I'm on the playground.
Yeah.
And you notice there were separate boxes for Taylor and Brittany that they
there were?
Yeah, there were separate ones.
Well, they walked in together.
Yeah. But the bottom line is that that's that sidebar that won't go away, which has now led to many controversial discussions, conspiracy theories that the NFL so badly wants Taylor Swift to be at the Super Bowl that they will do anything to get her there, which is just really your high type of conversation because the Super Bowl is watched by everyone, basically. They don't need Taylor Swift to show up to get eyeballs on the Super Bowl. But the bottom line is that there are now enemies against Kansas City, enemies against the kingdom because of Taylor Swift. But back to the Mahomes part, yes, all you can do is just marvel. Just watch and marvel. But it doesn't – I don't mind having a little hate, having to want to see him struggle, go down or whatever. But he is one bad son of a gun on the football field.
So let me elaborate on that poll that I posted because a couple of you are asking, what's the difference between Patriots level annoying, Warriors level annoying? The Warriors, I feel like so many of us became indifferent to after they added Kevin Durant, and it was how are we supposed to compete with them now?
That's when people really hated them.
Correct.
People liked Steph.
Correct. Which people,
and then they started to develop Steph hate.
Which people
he chews on his mouthpiece.
Is that right? And is that the point we're at with Mahomes versus?
You know what it is? It's mouthpiece versus this.
No.
When he's got his hands up,
God,
I think people.
I know it cracks me up.
I think people hate the shimmy. You know how he shimmies down the court.
And do it, dude.
Yeah,
if you can do it.
But when he was, up
For
and
our
coming.
listeners, by the way, Joe is doing when Mahomes has his hands up and he's hurrying people to him,
exactly.
Hey,
huddle up,
rushing to me. Yes.
But when Steph Curry first comes into the league, the Warriors are a perennial cellar dweller at that point.
Yeah.
And then they make the NBA Finals in 2015. everybody's like, man, this is a great, fun story. Versus maybe it was that way the first 2 years with Tom Brady, but it quickly dissolved into, oh, my God, all they do is win. I'm over this. And then all the scandals that also surrounded it.
My Laker love would never really allow me to enjoy Steph, but you couldn't come away. Like, I'll never forget Mark Jackson saying this is the best backcourt duo in the history of the NBA, and I'm looking at him like, you're a crazy. And obviously Thompson and Curry proved to be so, and then so many other great things came out of that. But, yeah, I still hate it.
And that's where you, like, look at Steph and Clay, and, like, yes, it's annoying that they win so much, but you're like, man, it's kind of hard to hate them.
Then Draymond helped you hate.
And then Draymond, right. They had a villain. So where is Travis Kelce in that equation? Because for the past 3 or 4 years, I think we were okay.
People loved
with the
Kelce up until now.
Right. And so that's why I posed the
guy.
question of Patriots, Warriors, at what juncture are we at with the Chiefs? Because I think you are starting to see the turning of the tide.
Yeah.
Like, people loved Gronk. Nobody hated Gronk. Even if you hated the Pats,
Yeah, you had to love him.
nobody hated
And here's
Gronk.
the other one. Back to Matt's point. Belly, you could easily hate him.
Yes.
Andy Reid?
Nobody
What's
hates Andy
not
Reid.
to love?
He's Santa.
He's
Who
jolly,
hates Santa?
yeah.
Who hates Santa? He's jolly. He jiggles, all that kind of stuff.
Chris Jones was picking him up and everything
Yeah,
was
everything
jiggling.
was moving. I
Oh,
was
my
like,
gosh.
please
All right,
stop
so,
it.
We have a NASCAR analogy on the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. According to 505 for you racing fans out there, Mahomes reminds me of Jimmy Johnson from NASCAR when he was on his run. Nice guy, does everything right, wins too much. When it's the same guy and the same team every year, it gets old no matter what the sport is.
Well, the other NASCAR would be the Intimidator, and people hated Earnhardt, but you had to recognize what he did.
Well, here's the thing. The odds are against the Chiefs. There's 31 other teams out there.
Yeah.
Find a way to win.
And this is like the worst Chiefs team we've seen
Ever
since
seen.
he's played.
Best defense, though. Best defense.
Defense.
And yet look unbeatable.
Wait,
Yeah.
what odds are against the Chiefs? I'm not sure. I understand
everybody else has a shot to beat them. I mean, find a way to beat
They
them.
still have
Are you
Mahomes,
ready?
Right?
Huh?
They still have Mahomes.
Yeah.
No,
but
what
look,
I'm saying
that
is that
kinda,
people
like,
getting
levels
upset.
out the odds and
Well,
moves it
people
more
saying they get
toward the
upset because the
Chiefs.
Chiefs win all the time. Then there's all these teams out here that could potentially beat them.
Go beat them.
Go beat them.
Yeah. And
But
look
they
at the
can't.
teams.
I know they can.
Look at the
That's
teams.
the
They
problem.
got the king, the GOAT.
They do. They have they're the evil empire.
Listen, the Niners are favored to win.
Yeah, a point.
I want you
favorite
to know
right
that.
They're not
Yeah.
going to win.
That's what I said. Mahomes is an underdog once again. And go look at the teams that beat Mahomes this year. Talk about a head scratcher. That'll make you take a Rolaids. All right, so we got much to get into. Mokama Beer Company Monday. You enjoy coffee every single day of the week right there in their tap room on South 8th Street, Fernandina Beach, and their brand new Wildlight location. You can also find their great craft Tuesday through Sunday at those locations and also on the shelves at ABC or Total. So make sure you're craving some good craft. This is a local. Check out Mokama Beer Company.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL.
She's not very good with numbers.
We've got your winning numbers right here.
Let's count to 10, all right?
10, 10XL.
Aren't you forgetting something?
92.5 FM.
We are number one.
Hey there, it's Mia O'Brien. With another beautiful weekend in the forecast, do you really want to be spending your precious time away from work washing dirty windows and unclogging gutters? Call my friends at Window Gang, America's #1 cleaning company, and go do something fun this upcoming weekend. With over 35 years of experience, Window Gang knows clean like no other. These are professionals who truly know what they're doing, bringing their expertise to your home or business. What sets Window Gang apart? It's not just about the cleaning, it's the courteous and friendly service. Always on time, satisfaction guaranteed. They are not done until the job is done right. Window Gang offers a full range of services. Window and blind cleaning to gutters, pressure washing, very important this time of year, roof and house washing, dryer vent cleaning, and even chimney sweeping. Check out their stellar Google reviews online and call their super friendly staff at 262-7300 to schedule your free estimate today. That's 262-7300. Window Gang, where service goes beyond your expectations.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Men, are you suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE? The medical providers at Prime Men's Medical Center offer breakthrough treatments that eliminate problems in the bedroom without pain or surgery. 98% of men see instant results on their first office visit. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Prime Men's Medical Center offers breakthrough medical treatments that eliminate ED and PE. Men are even lasting 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
But that's not all. For a limited time only, call Prime Men's Medical Center now, and your initial consultation and first treatment are completely free. You'll see instant results right in the office. You'll even get a gift that enhances your performance in the bedroom. All this, worth hundreds of dollars, is free if you call now. 904-664-8217. 904-664-8217. That's 904-664-8217.
JEA is dedicated to keeping your utility costs down, so we offer programs and solutions to help you use less and save more. From simple and easy tips that reduce usage to free in-home efficiency assessments that show you ways to be more energy and water efficient, and efficiency rebates that help you save on appliance upgrades. Because as your community-owned, not-for-profit utility, we're here to serve you, and only you. To learn more, visit JEA.com.
Here's Ben and John Lupo, owners of Beard's Diamonds.
It's funny, my dad has sold people engagement rings, and now I'm selling their kids engagement rings and anniversary gifts and birthday gifts.
We're blessed with the relationships we've built over the years.
Check out our full inventory at beardsdiamonds.com.
Beard's Diamonds in the St. John's Town Center.
The big game is in the near future, and Sonny's Barbecue is here to help. For your chance to win a barbecue feast for the big game, text Sonny's to 641-1010. Sonny's Barbecue, local pitmaster since '68.
Go inside your home team's locker room with Jags beat reporter Hayes Carline.
Check out my blog at 1010xl.com.
So you can catch all the news and nuggets you need to know.
My blog is brought to you by Wolin Reese Plumbing,
where quality and experience count.
There's something special about Napa Auto Care Centers. They're backed by the national power of Napa and a 24-month, 24,000-mile nationwide warranty. But more importantly, your Napa Auto Care Center is locally owned and operated by a strict written code of ethics. Put your vehicle in the hands of ASE-certified technicians you can trust. Find us at jacksnapaautocare.com. David Garrard Mondays on Jaguars Today are brought to you by American Garage and John's Automotive.
Get Gators play-by-play on 1010XL. Brought to you by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And Renewal by Anderson, the official window and door replacement partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Wow, John, my Clearwater sprinkler system looks great.
All right, Frank, let's go ahead and program your Rainbird timer. How many minutes do you want the zones to run?
John, I think we run from the front 20, the sides 15, the back 10, the garden 5. Clearwater scores!
Well, that's a first, Frank, but you're the boss.
Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers.
And drainage to
ClearwaterJacks.com.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700, offices Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
Discover the difference that local expertise makes at First Coast Lighting and Fans. Visit their showroom at the Avenues and browse high-quality products to match your desire for elegance, quality, and uniqueness at First Coast Lighting and Fans.
The Florida Forum welcomes 4-star Admiral James Stavridis, February 26th. Funds raised for a Kids Care Mobile ICU, a neonatal and pediatric critical care transport vehicle. Kids Care vehicles and helicopters safely transfer more than 2,200 infants and children a year to Wolfson Children's Hospital. To get your tickets, call 202-2886, 202-2886, or thefloridaforum.com, thefloridaforum.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Jackson to Flowers. He dives. The ball came out. It's recovered by Kansas City. Did the ball come out before he broke the plane? I think you're right. They're calling it a touchback and recovery on the field. He gets the protection. He goes long and on his back to ice it is Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
Mondays on XL Primetime, brought to you by Mokama. Check out their great craft in the tap room in Fernandina Beach.
Look, there's going to be a lot of hate towards the Kansas City Chiefs barreling towards their third Super Bowl title in 5 years today. There's also a lot of disdain for the Tony Romo-Jim Nantz pairing. Have you guys been seeing this?
I think there might be disdain. Like, he doesn't say that to Jimmy anymore, okay? There might be disdain in the booth.
What happened? Just because Greg Olsen and Burkhardt are like the cream of the crop all of a sudden and the toast of the town?
By the way, Greg Olsen said a couple things last in the call that stuck with me, that rang true. And he was spot on as far as the decisions that Ben Johnson and Dan Campbell make. He said they throw behind the sticks on third down. They run more often when it's a pass play. The play down a distance demands that you throw the ball. They run it. Anyway, it was ringing true, and then they blew it.
Right. Well, he also kept saying that it was the right move by Campbell, both those fourth down calls.
Mm-hmm.
No, Greg, it wasn't the right move, okay? No, it wasn't. With those 2 field goals, they're leading the game at that point. With one of them, the game's tied.
Yeah, exactly. That's the crucial one. The fourth quarter decision not to kick it was a dumb decision.
All I know is the criticism I saw from some sports media columnists nationally with regards to Romo and Nantz was that Romo and Nantz refused, quote unquote, to address Nick Allegretti stepping in for Joe Thuney and the offensive line for the Kansas City Chiefs not missing a beat because, and I quote, this is from Andrew Marchand of the New York Post, Nantz and Romo don't do that, despite CBS executives wanting more talk of trench play, line play, how it's important. And I saw that and I thought of you, Leon Searcy.
Does that offend you, Leon?
A little bit.
I thought of you.
I got annoyed a little bit. Yeah,
I thought of you. Did you
at the bar smoking cigars.
I was smoking cigars.
Liar.
But
I weren't even listening to the
I was
broadcast.
entrenched. I was absolutely entrenched.
Does it upset you, though, if a broadcaster refuses to acknowledge the importance of the trenches?
Well, I mean, listen, if it was an issue, if he was getting blitz, I mean, if he was giving up pressures and he was sacking the quarterback, then they wouldn't have made an issue about, the adjustments that was made at the left guard position. But the Chiefs don't have that kind of problem.
That's really the problem with O-line in general.
Because they develop their players, So you can move All-Pro, he's hurt, and send him down for the AFC Championship game and bring in a guy who was what? He was a what, fifth, sixth,
But he
seventh?
did struggle.
Oh, yeah.
They had pressure up the middle. There's no doubt they did. But the problem is,
who doesn't?
They had Mahomes back there.
Yeah, true. I mean,
he just moves in the pocket, finds an extra second, and makes a throw.
That was still a team that had dominated defensively.
Yeah.
And they did get to Pat Mahomes for a little saucy. Pat Mahomes, only quarterback in NFL playoff history, which is hard. What am I going to say? Hard to believe. Bull crap. It's easy to believe when you talk about Mahomes. Only quarterback in NFL playoff history without a turnover or a sack in 3 straight playoff games.
Saucy nugs.
He was sacked yesterday, but that's only because there were limited liabilities. He made up for them once again.
He
for the most
moves
part.
in the pocket like no one ever has in the history of the sport.
It took him forever to get him down.
It's unbelievable.
He's got two of the I can't say worse, but 2 of the most inconsistent offensive tackles that play in the playoffs. I'm just telling you.
Juwan's no longer here. You're still killing him.
I'm not killing him. I'm just saying, at any given time,
Donovan Smith.
at any given time, they can break your heart.
I actually thought Juwan played pretty well yesterday.
He did.
He didn't have any penalties.
He didn't. He had one.
He did have one. Oh, he did have one.
He did one.
You know.
The only reason why I know he
for
had
him
one.
For him, that's like a handicap. So it's basically zero.
The only reason why I know that he had one because when he got the penalty, they preferenced the fact that he's the most penalized offensive lineman in the NFL 2 years in a row.
There was the All-Pro guard that got 2 holdings back to
Trey
back.
Smith.
Yeah, Trey Smith. Yeah,
that was potentially a game-changing play. But then Mahomes is so good that he still gets the yardage to get the field goal right before half. Like those kind of plays, they don't show up in the box score. Nobody talks about them, but like. That goes from a humongous penalty to we don't really talk about it because Mahomes still ended up getting the field goal right before half. They go up by 10, and they go up by 10 realizing Lamar's never going to come back on us. They basically ran the clock every time they had the ball in the second half.
They definitely
they sat back.
They had no respect for Lamar yesterday.
Their defense won. Their mind won over Baltimore.
Yeah.
Really.
Well, I mean,
mind and will.
I mean, I hate the part because Lamar had to go win the game. I mean, their team is not built. I mean, their team is built behind the preference of Lamar doing what he does, all right? But if you watch the Baltimore Ravens, when I saw them decimate all the good teams, Detroit, the 49ers, all those teams, they ran the ball. They physically beat them up. If you saw that 49er game, they physically beat up the 49ers.
Yeah.
I mean, up front, they got after. That's what I thought was going to happen. For whatever reason, Monken said, okay, my quarterback is better than your quarterback, and we're going to show you how. Why? Yeah. Just stick to your game plan. You're not Ali B. Frazier.
Yeah, exactly. Remember the
Frazier.
stat.
Just muck it up.
Remember the stat we threw out going into this game? The Baltimore Ravens, Lamar leading the way, had beaten their last 4 teams by 14 points or more. Mahomes, in his entire postseason career, had not lost by 14 points or more, or his entire career, but more than 4 times. That was it. 4 times in his entire career he had lost by 14 points or more.
And once that was in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
From the AFC championship game to the NFC, I have a special reading, especially because so many of you on the text line have already sounded off about this one player. JJ, if you could please cue the world's smallest violin. You won't find tears in Detroit. If you want excuses, you won't hear them coming from Ford Field. As hard as today's loss was, it is not a definition of the Detroit Lions culture. It is the city's perseverance of hardworking people is what makes this state great. A city born in steel, diesel, and blood will not let a moment like this hold them back. A moment that Michigan men don't shy away from. You take a look at these college boys down the road. It took them a couple trips to hell and disappointment, all to bring glory back to Michigan. Greatness is a journey, not a light switch. Together, we will restore the roar. Romans 5:3-4 says, any guesses who this is, Leon Searcy?
When he said Michigan men, that might have given it away.
Jim Harbaugh.
Jim
It's
Harbaugh.
not Jimmy. It's not Jimmy.
Eminem. Not
Close.
Eminem. Not Eminem.
Close. Oh, my God.
Barry Gordy.
That would be one Aiden Hutchinson of 0 tackles and 0 sacks in yesterday's NFC Championship game. George Kittle had him in a blender, so did Trent Williams.
He says all that, then he gets in his electric car and drives off.
Yeah, but don't forget, Aiden Hutchinson, when he came into this game.
Oh, he drives a Ford.
Oh, okay.
When he came into this game, he was right there. He was actually ahead of Nick Bosa in quarterback pressure, 79 for the season, led the National Football League. So they figured we got to do something and deal with him, which obviously opened up the door for Houston and a few of those other guys.
They put the tight end on him, and the tight end had him in a blender.
Yeah. He had 2 knockdowns in the first couple drives, and then that was pretty much the last I saw.
Yeah, he struggled. Listen, I saw him on Trent Williams' side a couple of times. Not pretty.
Well, that's anybody too. I mean,
I'm just saying,
everybody's
bro.
going to look.
You ever
bad
been taking the class? You've been taking
I
the school before.
I am sensing.
I don't know. The Green Bay Packers last week, they were able to sneak past Trent Williams.
I don't know if Jags fans should be able to do like a dance on like Hutchinson's grave when they just went to the NFC title.
Well, why are they dancing?
That's what Duval's doing. They're reveling.
He's the better player. It's not even close.
Yeah, honestly. The Giants guy's better than Trayvon too.
Yeah, he's a ton better right now. Technician, overall results.
He was getting chipped all game yesterday.
Well, the Jags players are in the resort right now watching the game while they were playing. So that's different.
Yeah, and so you can have fun, revel in
not
what
Duval,
you think
what I call him.
Yeah.
U-Haul.
Okay. Yeah, but that's what like losers do. Losers like complain about how that guy's. Now look at him. Look how bad he was.
Yeah.
Our guy doesn't look so bad now.
Yeah, all in
just
all,
go be a loser somewhere else, man.
Yeah, all in all, the first and second year guys the Detroit Lions have had and contributions they've got from them, it has been special up there in Motown. It really has. And who knows where they're going, but they've been able to also pull in free agents and get more out of them too. Like I said, Brad Holmes, Trent Baalke, take a page, bro. Pay attention to what's going on up there because they were able to take – with that deal with Matt Stafford, take those first-round picks and turn them into magic, turn them into something that instantly just add water type of players. And this football team wasn't able to do that when they had 2 extra first-round draft picks for getting Jalen.
Plus that Detroit team is a mirror image of their coach, man. I mean, they play bully ball. Yeah. I mean, on both sides of the ball. I mean, they get after it pretty good. I mean, their offensive line is elite. Absolutely. And not a lot of people saying golf had a hell of a game. I mean, some of those throws they made down the stretch. I mean, if the receivers had any hands, they were playing like they had their hands in their pocket half the time. And so you catch some of those balls, then we're not even having this conversation.
So do you think they'll be back?
I think
like in a 3-year span.
If they keep the core team together, I'm not sure if they're going to get back to the championship, but I think they're going to be a team that they're going to have to tassel with for the next couple of years.
Because that was Hutchinson's thing that we were just making fun of, is that we'll be back, which
Everybody
honestly, a lot of times you're not back.
Yeah, everybody does.
That's why I was so happy that Dan Campbell said it post-game yesterday.
It ain't easy.
No.
No, it's not.
That's the reality of it.
Dan Marino's the classic case. Get there, we'll be back, never got back. And so
2017 Jags.
Yeah, it just is not easy. And everyone thinks that that's that natural progression. It ain't. Sometimes you are just fodder for the other one. And take a look at the guys that Pat Mahomes has had to go through to get where he's at. And right now, the Bills are fodder. Jaguars
Everyone's
are fodder.
fodder for
Everyone
Mahomes
is.
right now,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. The only guy that can claim he has any success over him is Joey Burrow. That's it.
Tom Brady.
Yeah,
He's out of the league.
Tommy. And by the way, Mahomes had Tom Brady beat. It was D. Ford that put Tom Brady in the New England Patriots in that Super Bowl, which is just crazy. Now let's get to the other guy. We got the quarterback whisperer coming up. Brock Purdy did some things in the second half of this game that need to be recognized, because when he felt pressure, he took off. He made plays. He looks as pedestrian when you just look at him like, oh, bro, just go sit in the corner. I mean, that's the face that he's got. But this guy is a fighter, a baller, a playmaker, and we didn't see him make too many plays with his legs, Leon, during the regular season. Second half of that game, I believe he was 13 of 16 and ran for close to 50 yards.
Yeah, I mean, listen, whatever you want to say about him, I mean, he's in the Super Bowl. I mean, he's no longer in the class. I was hearing about this earlier, the Dak Prescott's, Kirk Cousins, Justin Herbert's, the Tua's, all those kind of. He made the Super Bowl. Whatever the system is, wherever's around him, they say he's a system player. But I mean,
the guys you just named, they all have pretty good talent around them.
They
too,
got
right?
pretty good talent around them too, and they've yet to make to a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
those are guys that they bunched him in with. They say he's a good manager. He's got good team around him. He's got guys around him, whatever. But yesterday too, I mean, he made some plays with his legs. I mean, some of those throws, the timing throws that he made, I mean, they were outstanding. I mean, you don't have a quarterback like that lead you to a Super Bowl if he's not making plays.
And how do you
instinctively he made plays with his legs, with his arm. I mean, he's got to get credit for that.
Yeah. How do you find a fullback with toe drag swag?
Who does that?
Like their guy. It was just crazy.
It is.
And the other guys, you have to have some luck in the Brandon Ayuk play, rolling over the defender, knowing the flag had already come out with a PI. As crazy as it was, there still was a PI call coming, so it would have netted that same amount of yards. But still, you got to have some luck.
No, they picked it up.
They picked it up.
Oh, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But would they have?
Yeah, exactly. Because my only point is that if he
anything,
didn't,
I pushed off in that play too.
Yeah, my only point is if he didn't catch the ball, it was still a PI flag, and that would.
And you never know what.
No. I mean, they literally said there was no interference.
Yeah.
Is what they said.
After though, like these guys.
No,
come on, Matt. You're not that naive.
Because he did pull
you know
on
how
it.
these refs are, man.
Yeah. Anyway, the point is that you have to have some luck, and so even if Matt's right, and they were gonna stay with the idea that it was not PI, that was a big play in the game.
Philosophically, what I want to talk about is Kyle Shanahan 3 weeks ago. With his team down 2 scores at halftime. I think that was the stat. 2 scores at halftime was like 0-50-something or 0-40-something since he has been the head coach of the San Francisco 49ers. Part of that, at least in its current iteration, is because they build leads based off their run game, and they are able to sit on that lead, utilize Christian McCaffrey, utilize that quick screen game, and largely sit on leads, extend them. They struggle to play from behind because that is what puts all the pressure on the quarterback position. Now you are asking Brock Purdy to take the game over. In the last 2 weeks, they've been down at halftime 2
Had
scores.
to come back twice.
And they have found a way back. And that's where I want to contrast that to the Baltimore Ravens. My cousin, who is a musical theater major, is a music teacher in New Jersey, loves to watch football, doesn't understand a lot of football. And she texted me midway through the third quarter, and she goes, why on earth are the Ravens not running it? They're only down 10. That's their bread and butter, isn't it? And that is where I think Kyle Shanahan deserves all his flowers. He could have panicked. He could have said, Brock, you need to take over the game. You need to be No, we're still going to run it. We're going to utilize Brock's legs, too, when he needs to. And that's where I cannot commend the San Francisco 49ers enough for not losing their identity when they found themselves down at half, because it would have been very easy to drop back play after play after play. and they refused to do so.
Well,
they said, we are still going to run the ball.
When the Chiefs were rushing 4 and dropping 7, I mean, Lamar's got to run at that point.
Yeah.
That too.
He can't just stand back there and just wait. Somebody's got to get open.
Well, the way the defense was set up, it was impossible for him to get out of the pocket. They were rushing to not get to him. They were standing up.
You're also
hey,
right.
You're not moving anywhere. We're staying very.
I get all that, but
word
he's
is,
also Lamar Jackson.
Defense.
He can find a way around that. Number one. Number two, there's an easy way to deal with that. It's called 4 verticals, and then they got to stretch. Defense has to stretch to cover. All he's got to do is probably make one guy miss on the defensive line. He's running for 25 yards.
They gambled, and he hit two plays to Flowers that were wide open. And so they did.
Yeah, there was a busted coverage down the left side.
Yeah, and so they did that. They took chances, but at the same time, Lamar got rattled. And this is the Mahomes effect. I don't think it rattled Josh Allen, but if you go back and look at the numbers, they weren't particularly Allen-esque down the stretch. And then obviously take a look. Lamar had great numbers stat-wise yesterday because the over-under prop bet was 215 yards, and he blew right past that only because of those big plays. But he was as uncomfortable as it gets. Go back to Trevor against Pat Mahomes. Everyone wants to try and show the GOAT, the current GOAT, that they're step for step with him. I don't know what it is, dude.
You know what it is?
They press.
I'm not sure it's that as much as it is when you're playing him, you know every possession is critical. Every single
and it's
possession.
Like they went 3 and out immediately.
When you blow a possession, it's like you're in trouble.
Okay, look at the last 2 games. Sean McDermott goes for it on 4th down on his side of the field. They blow it, and then the score is ruled a touchback because of the Hardman fumble. Yesterday, John Harbaugh, as good as this guy has been over time, tried and true, says, we ain't giving him the ball back. We are going for this. We are going to keep the football.
Right.
And they did make the play, and then they didn't make the play. But it's nuts what he does to you. He make you crazy is what he does.
By the way, play of the day, it didn't matter, but Lamar catching his own pass and running for 20 yards was awesome.
Yeah, I think SportsCenter did the last 2, which was the Ayuk play, the catch, and then they put Lamar first.
What?
I'm like, no.
That's what it was?
Yeah.
Flip-flop those.
Yeah, they just got to flip-flop those. That was the craziest. Heck, even when Mahomes was almost sacked, he kept his knees off the ground. He did get sacked, but for just a brief moment, he still was able to get up and run because they couldn't get him to the ground. That's how great he is.
Speaking of your knees off the ground, that play, I was very angry with Andy Reid about this. When Kelsey, it looked like he potentially had the first down. It ended up he was like a half an inch short, I feel like.
Yeah.
But they didn't challenge that at all. They're just like, hey, get up to the line and run a play. And, of course, they got stopped.
Yeah.
And, if they score there, it might have been really, really, really ugly.
All the numbers were dancing in my head. I was not rooting for the same thing you were rooting for. That's for sure. Because I played this thing every way imaginable.
You had the Lions in 7, right?
Yeah. Well, this one.
Teaser.
It was.
I mean, but straight up, you took the Lions in 7, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
How crappy was that before the Lions scored at the end of the game when you're like, wow, the Niners are going to cover this.
I was sitting there. I was like, man, I may go 2-0 in our picks after all. Who would have thunk?
And I just kept hanging on.
Betting is just, oh, my God. It can ruin your Sunday. It can also make you so happy.
I have one prop bet with Jamison Williams, who I will admit,
he scored a touchdown.
I had included him on a couple of other ones, and I'm just like, he's got to hit. I didn't see that one coming. That was on a
reverse,
a little reverse, because all that yards
didn't count.
Credit to him.
He's got to put weight on because he can be a really good player.
Yeah, but you know what,
dude? He can be a special player.
2 times he's made big plays. He's walked off the field hurt.
That's what I'm saying. He's got to get bigger.
Yeah,
he has to.
Walked off the field hurt, which is not good.
We will go around the rest of the sports world what we saw this weekend. But as I scroll here, as we get ready to head into the 1 o'clock hour, my favorite moment from the sports weekend beyond this AFC-NFC championship game weekend, JJ, did you see Giannis scanning?
No.
So in mid-game, it's the best clip of the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Giannis Antetokounmpo comes over to the bench. His team is up by 30. He grabbed somebody's cell phone so he could scan the QR code on the Jumbotron to get free wings mid-game.
Oh, I'm watching it right now.
Because he had scored X amount.
He doesn't need to draw plays up anymore.
This is the energy I need in late January. Fantastic. Let's head into the 1 o'clock hour on a Mokama Monday. We will continue reviewing those two games as well as looking ahead to the Super Bowl coming up in 2 weeks from yesterday. This is XL Primetime.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. Need more Gators?
We've got you covered.
Search 1010XL Florida Gators
where you find podcasts.
Or visit 1010XL.com to hear Hicken and Franchi on Mondays and Denny Thompson and Hacker on Wednesdays.
New episodes each week.
Joe C. for Golden Diamonds Direct, and I've heard from a number of you said that I heard you when you said go get your Valentine a present at Golden Diamonds Direct. And that's really all I'm trying to do, give you that helpful advice, that little nudge. You can find Golden Diamonds Direct on Racetrack Road, Publix Plantation Plaza, and Chip and Curtis and Sammy, they all have been there for such a long time. Chip's been in business for over 40 years, and they know what it takes to get that smile. Gift wrapped included, it's all there. So just pick it out. You'll be happy you went to Gold and Diamonds Direct on Racetrack Road in the Publix Plantation Plaza.
Hey folks, Rick Ballou here for John's Auto. They've been a staple in Jacksonville going all the way back to 1985. At John's Auto, they service all makes, all models, cars, trucks, diesel, you name it, they do it. Whether it's routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul. Call John's Auto on Arlington Road. That's 904-743-3857 or go to johnsautomotivejacks.com.
Superior Fence and Rail knows about exceptional customer service. From the first call to the final inspection, Superior's team provides first-class care with great communication, friendly installers, and quality fence products. There's a reason why Superior is the top-rated fence company in Jacksonville. So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail for your new fence today.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Tired of dealing with clogged drains? What about bad smells coming from your pipes? You need to call Duck Duck Rooter, your plumbing pros in Northeast Florida. Duck Duck Rooter can help with any plumbing issue at your home or business. DuckDuckRooter.com.
There are three certainties in life: death, taxes, and if you stay in your home long enough, a new roof. Hicken here for our friends at Lockhart Roofing. Nobody better in Jacksonville. How do I know? They are a local certified Master Elite contractor, and that means they have a GAF Master Elite warranty. That's the best in the roofing industry. In this day and age, don't settle for cheaper discount roofers. Lockhart Roofing has been here for decades. They aren't going anywhere. Call my friends at Lockhart Roofing, 994-3851. That's 994-3851. Lockhart Roofing, Jacksonville's best for Jacksonville people.
This is Keith Catlin for Catlin Truck Accessories, and we are so blessed to be in business for over 100 years. Over 100 years of the best product and customer service means you can count on Catlin. From roll-and lock bed covers to Lear toppers to cam locker toolboxes, Catlin Truck Accessories has you covered when it comes to your truck or van. We do those too. Got a fleet of vehicles? We can outfit them all.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
One name, one location, 100 years. You can count on Catlin.
Get the appliances you need right away at Lowe's. Explore the largest assortment of brands you trust, like Whirlpool, Samsung, and LG, in-store or online at the best values. Plus, take advantage of our everyday financing offers on top items, from refrigerators to laundry pairs. And there's more. Get your new appliances delivered or installed quickly at your convenience. Because Lowe's knows appliances. Lowe's knows home improvement. Subject to credit approval.
You love free. And at Ameris Bank, so do we. That's why we're proud to offer worry-free, hassle-free Ameris Bank free checking. Manage your money your way with convenient access to digital, mobile, and telephone banking, all with no monthly service fee or minimum balance requirements. At Ameris Bank, we're with you. For more information or to open an account, visit our local bankers in person or online at amerisbank.com/free checking. Other fees such as overdraft fees may apply. Ameris Bank, member FDIC, equal housing
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Hey, Scarline here. Tired of missing out on the conversation due to hearing loss? At Jacksonville Hearing and Balance, their team of audiologists led by Dr. Douglas Green can help you rediscover the joy of connection. Visit jhbi.org today.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, Call 722-1111 for Instant Keys locksmith service.
Hey, Matt Hayes here. You know, battling a sinus infection for the past few weeks has been no picnic, especially when trying to stick to a weight loss program. Here's the funny thing. With Awaken 180, the trick to losing weight is actually eating. Now, when you're under the weather and have zero appetite, keeping up with a diet plan sounds like climbing Mount Everest, right? But here's the kicker. Even though I wasn't feeling hungry, I didn't gain a pound. In fact, I'm now 36 pounds lighter, all thanks to my coach, Krista. Without her guidance, I probably would have thrown in the towel and watched those pounds creep back on. The Awaken 180 coaches have seen it all and helped over 21,000 others get through every imaginable scenario. So if you're tired of going solo and want a coach, a friend really, in your corner, stop trying to wing it. Call the experts at Awaken 180 Weight Loss, 844-346-1800, or check them out at awaken180weightloss.com. Trust me, it's a game changer. 844-346-1800 at awaken180weightloss.com.
Family owned and managed for 20 years, Hidden Hills Golf Club boasts a unique and welcoming golfing atmosphere. Visit us at hiddenhillsgc.com to book your next round on our Arnold Palmer signature course. You'll be glad you did.
Lauren Brooks here from Mayport CNC Fisheries. Want the freshest seafood in town? From mahi to tuna to scallops to oysters. Mayport CNC Fisheries is in Atlantic Beach. Do what I did. Go enjoy Mayport CNC Fisheries.
This is Molly McDonald with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. The 49ers and the Chiefs secured their trip to Las Vegas for Super Bowl 58 after winning in Sunday's games. The Chiefs defended their AFC title against the Ravens, winning 17-10, while the 49ers rallied against the Lions, coming back to win 34-31. Jacksonville Icemen swept the Savannah Ghost Pirates over the weekend, winning their 2-game series. Friday night, they won 6-1, and Saturday winning 6-2 at home, doubling the Ghost Pirates' shots on goal. This brings the Icemen into third place in the ECHL South. JU men's basketball had a hard-fought game on Saturday against Bellarmine. After an attempted comeback, they came up short in the second half, falling 69-63. It's 60 degrees at 1 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Mondays on XL Primetime, brought to you by Mokama. Check out their great craft in the tap room in Fernandina Beach.
Love Mokama. Mokama Mondays as well right here on XL Primetime. You're always welcome to join in, 641-1010. You can hit the text line. You can go to YouTube, throw a comment there. What's it going to take for this team here in Duval to get to that stage, which is what happened yesterday, Championship Sunday, with two teams going to the Super Bowl in a rematch. Not that long ago, you saw Kyle Shanahan's 49ers take on Andy Reid's Chiefs, with the Chiefs winning. So we'll definitely be recalling some of the memories of that. Mokama with coffee every single day of the week, South 8th Street, beautiful Fernandina. You can drop on by there, or their new Wildlight location, and, of course, Craft Tuesday through Sunday. Make sure you check out some of the great stuff. Now, we've got our Super Bowl cook-off on 1010 coming up next week, and Matt had to go put Leon's name on the list just to put pressure on the big fella, to make sure that he's coming through with your Asian wings, right? Asian
my
glaze?
favorite, lemon pepper. Yeah, no pressure.
Okay.
I'm going with the wings, and any of my competition will be crushed.
I told TLD, I said, Leon's doing Asian glaze.
Asian glaze wings.
She's like, oh gosh, man, I might want. I said, I'm not going up against him. I'm not because they
don't want the smoke, but go ahead.
I know. Well, I wanted to make sure that you had your name on
Is anybody on the chicken wings?
No, not yet.
Huh?
Not still yet. Got like a whole week, though.
Oh, got a whole week? Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
But we have 4 chili.
Matt, you want some of this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have some of that smoke.
Okay, maybe do it.
I love it.
We have 4 chili entries. We do need another wing. And then people are kind of like either on the dip or the app, and I'm trying to figure out exactly.
Well, there's been some controversy,
yeah,
Joe.
JJ has me wondering if we should be changing some of the categories.
Yeah,
someone decided that they should put mac and cheese on there. I love mac and cheese, and it's one of my favorite meals.
It doesn't scream Super Bowl.
It's not a Super Bowl party meal.
Yeah, it does not scream Super Bowl.
Maybe if it's like a cold, like potato salad.
Mac
salad. Exactly.
Yeah, pasta salad. Yeah.
But mac and cheese, not so much.
You know what mac and cheese screams? Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yes,
That's it.
like a home meal.
Yeah, and maybe
not like with your
4th
friends with finger food and
a 4th of July or Labor Day. Mac and cheese can go with any of the days. If you're off, you can have mac and cheese. That's basically what it is.
If you're like at your house.
Yeah.
Not at someone else's.
But
we could make another dip. Like we could get rid of mac and cheese and make more dips because I feel like JJ. I agree with JJ. Like when you think Super Bowl, you think dips.
You're grabbing,
Chips.
you're walking around, you're socializing, you're drinking. Really, is what you're doing.
What about a nice crab dip?
Dude, I love a good crab dip.
I'll just tell you this.
That has your name written all over that, Matt Hayes. Come on,
Let me tell you what, I'll give you one that you do need to bring in. That smoked fish dip.
Oh
It's
yes,
good, wasn't it?
That was
You
good.
can enter
That
in
was
multiple
good.
categories. I'm not going to say no.
That smoked fish dip was really good.
I don't think Molly McDonald or MC will have any issues.
That was just something I threw together too. Man.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Now, is there anyone that you guys have seen's name up there and you're like, this is going to be trash? Because I love this guy.
say it on air.
I love this guy, and he's like top 3 favorite person I work with. But I'm skeptical of what Bachelor 20s Dylan Denmark is going to bring to the table in this competition.
What is he currently signed up for?
I don't know, but I saw his name. Dessert.
Oh, he's got a dessert.
Dessert.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Last time he had the pecan.
No, that was not him. That
wasn't him.
Graham, that was Graham's fiance who made it.
Oh, okay, my bad.
It was.
By the way,
Yeah. So Dylan's single. So I'm
Wait
like,
a second.
what do you got
Wait,
going on?
Wait 1 second. That was not Spielberg who made that. That was his fiance.
He made it with his fiance. Like it was her recipe that he made.
Believe what you want me.
Yeah.
You know what?
That's what's mouth.
Hey, the Food
We can't
Network,
have that,
everything's-
Joe. We cannot have that.
Well,
this,
if they
this
do it
aggression
together,
will not stand.
If
Man.
they do it together. Look, there's too many people that have come in that someone else made it and dropped it on
Hack?
the table.
I mean,
That's
think
hack.
Where
That's
is
a
hack
given.
stuff?
You know that. That's not even.
But at the same time, if it's their creation, their family, I want good food. I am welcoming
I agree with
it.
Joe.
Yeah, I am
Because
welcoming
that thing that Graham's fiance made was like spectacular.
I know that Hack has been on the injured reserve last week, but he's yet to sign up. So if he's driving around right now.
Well, there's one on this list that kind of surprises me.
Who?
Like if anything screams dessert, it's Jeff Prosser. Okay, because I can't put those two
Now
together.
that's a guy I think his wife's gonna make something.
Yeah.
It
Mrs.
means that
P.
they have a family recipe, and Mrs. P was
Yes.
like, let's do this.
I just cannot picture Jeff with an apron on. Okay,
Kiss the
and,
cook.
and like I can picture him in front of the grill. All right, that's where he belongs. But
You don't see him baking.
Yeah, when it says dessert and Prosser,
No.
you're like, all right, I need another stick of butter. I can't see it happening.
What are you actually planning for the Super Bowl, Joe?
All right, so we went.
I know
over
you
it.
got a whole thing.
We went over it over the weekend, and TLD. The thing is she's not like I'm a protein guy, and I looked at Leon when I described the pork candy to him, and he's like, oh yeah, and I still think I'm going to probably do it. But it's probably going to be pork sliders with a little slaw top. It's probably what it's going to be.
that.
And so that will take a bit of time to make sure that I have that all ready to go.
You're talking dirty to me, and I kind of like
You're
it.
doing the whole. You're smoking the butt and everything.
Probably a butt, and just crank and just let it break down. Let all those the collagens and membranes just break down, and then chop it up. Get some good sauce on it, and then some.
I mean, I could do
nice slider buns and some slaw.
What I could do is do a brisket slider. I could smoke a brisket.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
We can go mano a mano.
I like that.
That's fine.
Not mano mano.
Mano. Let's just go mano here.
And I'm assuming at all of our Super Bowl parties, we'll have T Swift blasting just throughout
It's a
the
given.
entire
Yeah, the
party.
playlist.
As the queen of the building walks by, and I think she heard us.
Yeah, the playlist. It's on. All right, so I mentioned coming into this segment is that what's it going to take? And this has been a theme. It's not like we haven't addressed this theme because when we were in the divisional round, we asked the question, what do they got that you don't got? But I think more than anything else, Leon, when you look at these four teams, you mentioned it in the noon hour, all Duval's looking around going, why can't that be us? Why can't we be there? We were this close a season ago, and then it all just it unraveled in the worst imaginable way. Well, I do think this team needs to look at the formulas of these other four. And some of them are Johnny-come-lately. That's what Detroit is. But those other three are pretty tried and true.
Yeah, well, you know what? I actually took a look back at the two games that we played at the team that were playing in the Super Bowl, the Chiefs and the 49ers. Mm-hmm. And I looked at the Chiefs game, and I looked at what we were against the Chiefs, where we were sputtering offense, all right? Mm-hmm. Defensively, I said after that game, I thought we played – listen, if you tell me that your defense could keep Patrick Mahomes to 17 points, that gives you an opportunity to win the game. Yeah. But then I look at the stats. I look at the inability to run the football, the inability to protect. Now, Anton Harrison, he had a tough go-around with Chris Jones. Yeah. You know, he gave him the business. He baptized him by fire, which was –
waterboarded him.
Yeah, absolutely. But I just think that this team needs a toughness about it, an identity about it, and it starts up front. If you can run the ball and protect and you can play solid defense, I mean, you give yourself an opportunity. You've got to be tougher. This team has got to be tougher, not only physically but mentally. That collapse down there, and that as much as physical it was a mental collapse inside that locker room. As much as you want to talk about the play calling and Doug and all this other kind of stuff, Trent Baalke ain't got us this and that. Listen, that ain't got nothing to do with them guys in that locker room allowing that to happen. Those guys in that locker room allowed that to happen by their play, their execution, and their lack of accountability from everybody. Yeah. All right? So this team, mentally and physically, it's got to be tougher. Trevor's got to be better. We got to be able to run the ball. Got to be able to, all those factors. And when you see this Super Bowl, you know, styles and fights. All right? Yeah. It's going to be styles and fights. But, I mean, if you would have asked me the two best teams probably at the beginning of the season, outside of maybe the Eagles, you know, but the 49ers in Kansas City, man, they're proving to be the best two teams in the NFL.
All right, let's make it the 10-10 take right now because that's what everyone's searching for answers-wise, that's for sure.
Now, Josie's 10-10 take. Slow smoked and served up by Sonny's Barbecue. Local pitmasters since 68.
We're talking about the big game. The countdown is on. It'll be not this, but next Sunday, February 11th. We'll make sure you're listening because you're going to get that cue to call or cue to text in. Sonny's, as they will hook you up with a big game setup, man, everything. So make sure you check out your area Sonny's whenever you're craving some delicious barbecue. But as much as we need or much as we have to give Pat Mahomes credit for what he does, how about a little credit for Andy Reid? How about a little credit for that front office? How about a little credit for Steve Spagnuolo? Because if you are wondering how to look at anything that happens in the game of football, just remember it's a team. It is 100% a team. These quarterbacks get it done. They are the superstars. And, yes, Mahomes delivers more than most out there right now. But were it not for Steve Spagnuolo, I don't know where we'd be today because he game planned his fanny off against Todd Monken and Lamar Jackson. And then Steve Wilks was on the rope as a defensive coordinator yesterday against that Detroit Lions high-powered offense. But at the same time, just remember the construction of the football team. The personnel department, the head coach, the quarterback, they are as critical. But one doesn't necessarily go without the other. That's the 10-10 take. Because Pat Mahomes was able to overcome the shortcomings with his offensive line, the shortcomings with his receivers throughout the course of the year, the shortcomings with the swift trance that Travis Kelce was under for a long, long time. He was able to overcome all of that and still make it work. Is it Marcus Valdez-Scantling yesterday? Last couple of weeks, he's made unbelievable plays when he didn't do anything the entire year. But he was there when they needed him. Rashee Rice, there when they needed him, making plays. And all these guys played through some pain, too. Paco played through some pain yesterday to be ready to go. Got to give him all credit.
Yeah, well, you also got to give Andy Reid credit for knowing when to take a chance.
Yeah.
The last two games, you know? He also knows he has Pat Mahomes. So it's, you know, are you really going to throw there? That's what you're thinking. Are you really going to throw there when you could just run clock and blah, blah, blah? No, he's going to win the game because he's got the best player on the planet.
Yeah.
And he picked the right moment. Just like he picked the right moment the week before. Mm-hmm. So that, yeah, I mean, I look at it. It's clearly Mahomes. There's no doubt about it.
Yes. He's at the top of the pyramid.
Yeah, but I think what Andy Reid has done there at some point has to get a little credit as well, because it used to be Brady and Belichick. Now it's just Mahomes. And Andy Reid's pretty good
don't
too.
forget about it.
Yeah,
you really should not, because he's a magic man when it comes to keeping the guys. The other thing, Leon, keeping the guys loose, yet they all play hard. And that is not easy. We always talk about what type of personality we want to see in a coach, and I was critical of Doug Peterson this year, maybe, relaxing and letting press prove himself, and Doug didn't have that intensity. Andy Reid never looks intense, but boy, does he get the job done.
Well, he trusts his players. I mean, the reason why he can be lax with them because they're proven.
Mm-hmm.
They've been here over and over again.
Yeah.
It's like it was funny to me that the Baltimore Ravens, before the game, was trying to intimidate the Kansas City Chiefs by some of the stuff they were doing, getting in their face. I mean, the Ravens were acting like they hadn't been there before, which they hadn't.
In a while.
They hadn't been that way. I mean, the Chiefs, they've been there before, and it just was interesting to me the way they tried to intimidate them early on in the game. And I was saying, what are y'all doing? Why are you poking the bear? This team already – it doesn't need any more motivation to beat you. Yeah. You're trying to give them more motivation. It seems like when teams do stuff like that, they try to get in your head or whatever, it seems like they're unsure about themselves, and they need that confidence as far as intimidation. But
and you know what else?
But that team right there, that Chief team, that's the team that you don't poke the bear with.
All it did was it just drew flags.
That's all.
It didn't intimidate them. Mm-hmm. It helped them.
Kelsey was laughing about it.
Exactly.
By the way, do you think Andy Reid is – because I'm with Matt that he gets them ready to play and they look motivated, but I don't know if he is like a crazy motivator. I think Mahomes is an amazing leader. You know, I think Mahomes motivates as well, which is something that Trevor doesn't have yet.
I don't disagree, but I also think he's got a very good system he's working in Mahomes. That's number one.
From a game plan point of view, that guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
and
he also
saying like
he also
Andy
continues.
Reid, yes, seemingly the team is always motivated to play, but I don't think that's. I think a lot of that has to do with their leader.
Yeah.
No,
Andy Reid isn't Dan Campbell screaming in your face.
Yeah,
right.
It's also the way he motivates that team, the way he prepares them and gets them ready to play. Despite the fact that he's got a lunatic like Kadarius Toney running around in that locker room.
Well,
who, by the way, was held out for health and personal reasons.
But there are so many little things, and Leon could speak to this, that can, upend chemistry. And they have the right chemistry every flipping year. Yeah. Every year.
And they've had some interchangeable parts here of late, have they not?
Mm-hmm. They continue to have a bar. I mean, that's how you keep a team motivated. You say to yourself, okay, you won this Super Bowl. Can you go win another one? Or can you win it back-to-back? The bar keeps raising, and then the expectations of the team every year keeps raising. And that's when you have great players on your team because you're never satisfied. That's what you do.
And like these guys, no matter where they come from, they know I'm playing for the Chiefs. Like, remember how guys used to go, I'm playing for the Pats now. I have to up it up. So it's like Pacheco, I'm a 7th-round pick, but I play for the Chiefs. Like, I have to bring it. I have to run hard every single play. Like, Scantling, I'm a nobody, but I play for the Chiefs now. Like, I have to get this done. I have to make this catch on 3rd and whatever.
He just barely has started to step up. But the one subtle thing that Andy Reid did that just told me, okay, even though like we said, he's jolly, okay, he is a football Santa, but
which gives you hope for Doug, by the way, because Doug has a similar demeanor.
Right,
as Andy Reid.
That brings it back to what I said earlier. I want Doug Peterson to have that pissed off nature about him, where he can handle it inside the building. Because
where
I think
bump Travis Kelce, he'll bump Evan Ingram.
Yeah, that was what I was going to say. Is that when he hip checked Travis Kelce and just basically said, get your head out of your rear end. Yeah. And that one small little thing right there told me, okay, when Andy needs to do it and he doesn't do it in front of everybody, he did it.
Yeah, but Doug needs more LBs, though. You got to put some more LBs.
He does.
So what you're saying is we need to go down to the bank. We need to bring him some of our Super Bowl food.
But you get what I'm saying, Leon?
Yeah, absolutely.
In other words, when they need to speak and get the attention of the player, they know how to do it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Andy Reid's the type of guy, I'm speculating. Now, he seems like the type of guy, if he says something to you, that he doesn't say much, but when he says something to you, it resonates with the leaders on the guy. And I think Andy's the type of guy where he feels like he's got enough leadership in that locker room to hold everybody accountable. But when he feels like his leaders are not up there like stray dogs, he knows how to, yank the leash.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter who it is. It could be Kelce, it could be Patrick, and whoever it may be. I mean, he lets the strays go, but then he pulls the leash in when he feels like they're not doing right.
One other thing back to Mahomes' leadership point, he never blamed Kadarius Toney, but he dispatched Kadarius Toney.
Well, thank you. Good segue, Joe.
He did, basically.
Let's fact check that. Yeah. So the report is that Kadarius Toney missed Sunday's game because he was dealing with a hip injury, right? He also he welcomed his first child into the world, baby girl, on Saturday, and those were the personal reasons why he was excused from the AFC Championship game and traveling to Baltimore. But then he went off on Instagram Live last night saying that the Chiefs were lying about his injuries and that he's not hurt. So for those of you who didn't know, like, I'm very curious, was the personal reason solely the child being born, or is there something else at play here? Also, don't forget that former second-round pick Sky Moore also did not play last night for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Moore has been pretty much invisible for a while.
And that's what's incredible. That was a second-round pick.
He rose early, remember? He made plays early in the season. You thought that was going to be their guy.
That's all Patrick.
Yeah.
When it has to do with the wide receivers, it has to do with Patrick.
Oh, he phased Tony right out of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So just think of it. There's no real magic answer, like we talk about the Magic Man with Pat Mahomes. But this football team, everybody in that building, from Balky, the general manager, to Balky, the coach, on down, they've got to start answering their own questions. How do we do what they do? And the recipe, Baltimore was humbled yesterday. As fine an operation and franchise as that one is, they were humbled yesterday. So we'll keep going on that front. That's for sure. A little college football news that we need to sneak in as well. Mocama Beer Company Monday. Don't forget Tuesday through Sunday. Craft. You're going to enjoy it all Monday through Sunday, every day of the week, serving up that great coffee they have in the tap room or their Wildlight location, Mocama Beer Company.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers. The home of the home team you grew up with.
Jimmy Smith was given a chance with an expansion team.
And what a quality person as well, a leader of this football team.
Jaguars, pride forever. 1010XL.
Right now, save big at Key Buick GMC, like $15,000 off the new GMC trucks. Need some low APR rates? Key Buick GMC has them. Rates as low as 0.9% for 36 months, 3.9% for 48 months, 4.9% for up to 60 months, and 6.9% APR for 72 months. And no payments up to 90 days, that's 3 months. No payments, that's Key Buick GMC. We are professional grade, located at the corner of Southside and Gate, or visit KeyBuickGMC.com.
Let's fire up the flavor and ignite those appetites. Let's slow down and smell the barbecue. Because all your favorites are smoked for hours and ready for eating when you are. From our famous ribs to slow smoked pork. Enjoy some perfection by the plateful, safely in our dining room or in the comfort of your home. With curbside pickup, drive-through, and delivery. Sonny's Barbecue, local pitmasters since '68.
Ready to turn game day into payday? Head to Aces Sports Bar in Best Bet St. Augustine for the ultimate win. Catch all the NFL and college football games on our big screens and play your hand at the tables. Plus, anytime a touchdown is scored, someone wins $100 during select games with Best Bet St. Augustine's Lucky Seat Cash giveaway. Visit bestbetjacks.com for full details.
Are you suffering from shoulder pain? If you have clicking and popping in the shoulder joint, persistent pain that intensifies with use, an inability to lift your arm over your head, or a tingling, burning sensation in the shoulder, elbow, or wrist, waiting to see a doctor could make your injury worse. Baptist Health and Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute have innovative and effective treatment options available right now to relieve your pain and restore your mobility. Don't wait. Call 904-JOI-2000.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation, light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to CarlsonDentalGroup.com. That's CarlsonDentalGroup.com for all of your dental needs.
Get a free mulligan every Tuesday morning.
Check this out.
And free advice from PGA pros.
Now, this is what we're looking for, huh?
Brunch with the Tour.
Brought to you by Clearwater Irrigation. 8:30 Tuesday morning on 1010XL.
Football season means time on the couch and plenty of big games on the TV. Well, Florida Home AC knows you might be hitting the thermostat every time your team goes for the win. With family and friends hanging out for 4 quarters or more, the heating and AC unit will be working overtime. Stay cool with Florida Home AC. A simple phone call to 777-4300 and make sure your unit is primed for the fall when temps change constantly. Order a tune-up and enjoy the season. Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars.
Good people drink good beer, and great people drink Mocama, a refined craft brewery out of Fernandina Beach, Florida. Mocama Beer Company brings sophisticated flagship beers, including Cosmico IPA and Dune Garden Lager, to the greater Jacksonville area. Whether you're hitting the water with friends or enjoying a backyard barbecue, Mocama has the perfect pair for your summer activities. Look for us wherever great beers are sold and find your Mocama.
Visionaries, builders, and doers, are you ready to change the world? Miller Electric is your opportunity to shape the future. Miller Electric is leading the charge in electric vehicle technology with our state-of-the-art EV Innovation Design Center. We're working to create a sustainable future. We're also the proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, powering their performance at the brand new Miller Electric Center. Miller Electric, we provide competitive pay, unbeatable benefits. Apply today. MillerCareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
I'm Clayton Bromberg, the president of Underwoods. While we've earned the reputation as North Florida and South Georgia's preeminent official Rolex jeweler, it's important to point out that at Underwoods we carry other watches too. We start with Seiko, the most reliable, serviceable watch made for under $500. And they've started making jeweled, self-winding watches again, and sports watches you'd have to see to believe. Next we have Tavan, the Swiss-made ladies and men's and dress and sport watches, and they start at $575. Another name we carry is Tudor, inspired by Rolex with the same founder and owner, the Hans Wilsdorf Foundation. And their sport watches and chronographs are the rage in Swiss timekeeping, with new in-house watch movements and exciting new model introductions every year. So if you're interested in watches, we have what you want at Underwoods, and all of our watches carry a 5-year warranty. At Underwoods, in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops upon Avedra.
XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's Mocama Monday on XL Primetime. Head to the tap room at Fernandina Beach every day that ends with Y and enjoy some Mocama.
It is a Mocama Monday here on 1010XL. Of course, it's XL Primetime. Matt Hayes, Joe Cowart, Neil O'Brien, Leon Searcy. So we got to get into this before Denny gets here because you know Denny's going to come in with his 49ers jersey on screaming about Brock Purdy.
He did offer me if I bought one, he would ensure he could get it autographed for my family.
So
nice.
Here's the thing.
He can't buy me one, but he could get it autographed.
And I'm going to get like your guys' thoughts on this too. Here's the thing with Brock Purdy. I think he played well. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Do I think he played well enough to be the guy, to be the reason they won that game? That's no, number one. Number two, if the Lions don't blow that game and they win it by 10 like they should, the immediate aftermath of that loss for the 49ers would have been what? What decision are we going to make a quarterback? That would have been the decision.
It might have been for sure.
So because the NFL is all about the quarterback, and it's not really at Brock Purdy, but the NFL is all about the quarterback.
And remember the storyline we had before is that at least the word is that they said, hey, Brock, if it doesn't go well, we're going to try and get Tom Brady to come back to the basket.
So I think he played well. He made a couple really big third down runs. I mean, really that sealed that game in the fourth quarter. He made a couple nice throws, but he's not a guy, and I don't know that he will ever be a guy where you're like, wow, that is a dude at the quarterback position.
Will we still have this referendum if he wins the Super Bowl in 2 weeks from yesterday?
Yeah, well, because there have been other guys who are just guys. He's not just a guy. I think he's had a great year.
Yeah.
All right,
but there are other guys like that have won the Super Bowl that weren't considered great quarterbacks.
Right. I'll give you an example. Jared Goff made it to the Super Bowl.
Right.
And then they didn't win.
What about this team 4 years ago?
There was a referendum on Jared Goff, and they got rid of him.
Right. Well, how about Garoppolo, right? How about Garoppolo?
Yeah, and they brought Matt Stafford in, and they won a Super Bowl. Now, Jimmy Garoppolo, injuries got him as much as anything, honestly. Because remember, and you've said this many times, Matt, how close they were.
They missed deep ball away from winning that Super Bowl.
Yeah, and so Garoppolo could throw it. He just couldn't stay healthy. And Garoppolo and Brock Purdy, kind of the same guy in a lot of ways in terms of making the throws, but never really.
Although Brock's much better athlete.
Yeah.
Much better.
Yeah, and he took off and showed it last night. And so just going back to Leon's point earlier, Tua was surrounded with a pretty good offensive line, an unbelievable set of receivers, 2 really good running backs, if not 3, and a defense that definitely made plays, and they failed. Okay, and Tua, in that big moment, granted it was cold, as unbelievably cold. People died. It was that cold up in Kansas City, but that was his chance, and he did not.
Like I said, I think he had a great season. He really did.
And he had a chance against Buffalo to lock up the number 2 seed, so he didn't have to go to Kansas City.
Right.
And didn't get it done.
Right, I agree.
Justin Herbert, like we said, you jump in here because weapons around him, weapons around Dak.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, everything you said about Brock Purdy is right, but I think sometimes we discredit the team that came back and won. We say that the Detroit Lions, if they didn't do this, if they didn't do that. Teams get beat because those opportunities that they squandered, the 49ers capitalized on them and scored on them. I mean,
I don't disagree.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't disagree. All I'm saying is that had the Lions won that game, like
the narrative would have been different.
We all agree they should have won that game.
Yeah.
I think the narrative is it's the quarterback question. What do we do right now?
Yeah. And
again,
said,
it's not on Purdy. Yeah. It's just that the NFL is a quarterback league.
Yeah, and like you said, they gravitate to that. They will make it a topic. But coming into this game, he was tops in the National Football League in some key categories. Middle of the field, outside the numbers. He was making a lot of plays. Blitz pressure, he was completing a lot of passes. And so if he keeps doing it. Now, Shanahan's also, just as much as I wanted to give Andy Reid credit with the 10-10 take, Kyle Shanahan deserves a boatload of credit for constantly putting his quarterback and others on that football team in position to win, just the way he draws it up. And I thought it was a very good point earlier that Mia brought up that they have led and controlled games. And then in these 2 games, they had to come from behind, which what happens? You got to ask your quarterback to do more. And he's made some bad decisions at times, but he's been able to reclaim it in a hurry. Those scrambles he reclaimed, because he had a pick in this game now that could have haunted him, and he was able to come back with those timely runs.
They also made some big plays at receiver for him.
Oh,
big plays.
Yeah.
I mean, we said it during the pre-show meeting. The IU catch alone changes the trajectory. Then you couple that with a fumble.
The Jennings catch,
the
one-hand Jennings catch,
the one-hand Jennings
unbelievable.
catch as well.
Yeah, I think that was intended for IU.
Third down.
Only catch he had, by the way.
Whoever it was caught it. I mean, it's just
only catch he had. And last week they got production from him and Chris Conley, sans Deebo Samuel. So of note, which Coach Campo, the only reason he picked the Lions to cover was because he didn't think Deebo Samuel was going to play. Deebo Samuel, leading receiver in this game with 8 catches for 89 yards. They didn't incorporate him nearly as much, I think, in the run game as they normally do. But it is fascinating. We said it last week in his absence, and we'll say it again, that like when he plays versus when he doesn't play, how this offense operates. I understand he's a top 15 wide receiver, but I'm not sure I'd put him in top 5 category.
But it's so funny the way it worked yesterday. They came out and they were determined to move down the football field. Those, quote, halftime adjustments came out, and they started featuring the hell out of Deebo and making sure that he was the guy, the target, jet sweeps, and then the target throws to him. They only scored a field goal, but you just got the feeling, okay, they figured a couple of things out. They were obviously
when he goes, their offense goes. And I agree with me. He's probably not a top 15 guy, but what he does in that offense, within that offense, he's so important.
Well, he stresses you in so many different ways that you have to account for him, and then McCaffrey's running lanes open up, or a deep ball might open up.
He's another guy. Like, if he's on another team, is he that type of player?
I don't know, but I love the fact that like
if he's on this team, is he that type of impact player?
Yeah, I thought Travis Etienne could be that type of guy.
No, I know what you're saying, but I guess my point is, what I'm trying to say is, what Shanahan's got going on there is rare.
He's a very good play caller.
It's schematically, it's the way he sets things up. He's really good at what he does.
Okay, but think about this. I'll go to Ben Johnson. He made David Montgomery much more of an impact player.
Yes.
And he also had a great offensive line to help him do that.
And frankly, Gibbs, too.
Yeah. And exactly. And he made them impact players, but he also had a great offensive line to work with. And San Francisco's got a great offensive line
Phenomenal
to work
offensive
with. Yeah. And so those are the guys
that best in the league, right?
Yeah, that are ignored over and over and over. But if you don't have them, you're not getting off on all these plays and combinations that these teams are treated to offensively, because they have so many weapons and time.
That's
for
another
the
thing
quarterback
too.
To throw.
You know, I know you said I love Tua. that Miami offensive line.
Still
shaky.
good enough throughout the course of the year.
Not like the 49ers offensive line, I
no,
can tell you that.
No, but the few are.
One thing about Shanahan that I've heard, I don't know enough about X's and O's, and I certainly don't know enough about it with the O-line, but they say his run blocking schemes are like genius level. Like no one's ever done it before. Teams come in and study in the offseason what Shanahan's doing.
The old joke was
in his offensive running game.
Go, sirs.
Are you serious?
That's what they say.
The scheme blocking is what's the difference?
I don't know.
It's like I would ask Denny, and we'll have the quarterback whisperer coming up, and I know I asked him this before, how does they create so many lanes? And it's the zone blocking that does it, but the joke always was way back, and again, this has been pretty much taken with the rule book taken out of the game, but Mike Shanahan.
I was about to say his daddy. His daddy was good at the zone concepts of push and climb and cuts on the backside.
Yeah,
his daddy is the one who started all that.
I think it was Alex Gibbs. I'd have to look it up. But anyway, his offensive line coach, they were famous for cutting guys.
Terrell Davis always take it front side and cut it backside. They would push and climb, get to the second level, cut on the backside, and they would press it, and then they would cut it back. I mean, his daddy was doing that when he put
there was like 5 years where the Broncos
it got Terrell Davis in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
With a really short career.
Yeah, and that playoff game that we played them in '97 when we went up there, they went for 300 yards on them. Yeah, they got pushed and climbed to death.
And I think Mike, the dad, said, "Hey Kyle, if you ever get to a Super Bowl again, you better remember what you learned running the football.
Run the ball.
Absolutely.
Quit throwing it because honestly, he changed after Atlanta.
Speaking of the running the ball, since you brought up Travis Etienne and what you'd like to see him doing Debo-like things, he did tweet yesterday about that. I don't know if you boys saw this. So Breece Hall tweets, the way they're using Jameer right now as a running back stream, and a fan quote tweeted it and said, do you agree, at Swaggy T? And Travis said, I want that CMC usage. So let's talk a little bit about that. What is the difference between how Jahmyr Gibbs is being used versus Christian McCaffrey? Don't forget that final touchdown for the Niners, Elijah Mitchell scored. Christian McCaffrey was like, I need a play.
He landed on his head in that play.
I need a playoff coach. And they immediately insert Mitchell, and they don't miss a beat. And they score on the very next play.
I think the thing that happens, honestly, the guys that Swaggy's talking, that Travis Etienne's talking about, and the fan is asking about, they have lines of scrimmage that allow them to be great
and to get out in space, which was the whole.
I'm looking at Matt.
You're literally talking about the best line in the league versus maybe the worst line in the league.
Yeah, and that's why Jahmyr, Montgomery, and Christian McCaffrey are all shining. And you know the other thing? They play with the lead. So that means they can get their run games going, and they can become hostile when it comes to attacking. You know what I'm talking about when it comes to attacking defenses. When you have the lead and you're going to just dominate and step on them and lean on them.
Yeah, I mean that was the thing that was most disappointing to me about the Ravens in that game. I mean the Chiefs give up yards rushing, and you're at one of the best in the league in rushing. You panic, just stick to the game plan.
Yeah. Right.
You know, if you can run the ball, now you take possessions away from Patrick Mahomes. That's the whole idea of beating him. You got to take possessions away from him.
Well, that's what happened in the Niners' 3-game losing streak. Yes, as the text line has pointed out, they were without Trent Williams. That speaks to his importance when they went 0 for 3 in that stretch. They were without Deebo Samuel, who was also on IR. Again, for whatever the reason, he is the cog that makes this machine go. But what happened in those 3 losses was because maybe they didn't have those players. They said, let's put it on Brock Purdy's shoulders. Let's maybe not run Christian McCaffrey as much because we're down 2 scores. And they went on to lose all 3 of those games. And I think they learned something valuable, which is as long as there's time on the clock, just keep running it. Good things are going to happen. And Christian McCaffrey, to the point of Travis Etienne, like what's interesting is sometimes he's only going to pick up 2 or 3 yards. But you can't give up.
No.
You have to keep pushing.
They're going to keep blocking it up.
He only averaged 4.5 yards a carry, which is a very nice, yards per carry total. But partially that was because he had runs of 25, 12, 13. Otherwise, he's only going for 2 or 3 a pop.
Yeah.
And that's okay. You have to keep at it if it's truly your bread and butter. We will say hello to the quarterback whisperer. Stay on the Niners. Let's also touch a little bit on basketball. Those Florida Gators and Mike White seeing each other for the first time in a year. Old friend alert. Let's do it. Coming up next on a Mokama Monday on XL Primetime.
Cruising with XL Primetime in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010 XL. 1010XL is multimedia. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube.
You can't buy this kind of media exposure.
1010XL, maximum media exposure.
Men suffering from ED or PE, you'll see instant results on your first visit at Prime Men's Medical Center. For a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free. You'll even get a gift that enhances performance in the bedroom. Call 904-664-8217.
Frank Franzi here for Stanley Pools. There's a reason so many of my friends and our listeners have had Stanley Pools build their pools and now maintain their pools because Stanley Pools truly cares about their customers. Stanley Pools is locally owned and has been serving our community for 35 years. For all of your pool needs, call Stanley Pools at 269-7277. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools. 269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com.
Ever wonder how you can transform your living spaces into captivating works of art? At First Coast Lighting and Fans, they offer a huge selection of high-quality products to match your desire for elegance, quality, and uniqueness. Visit their showroom on Phillips Highway at the Avenues and step into a world of quality without compromise. Discover the difference that locally owned expertise makes and let them help you experience the transformation from average to extraordinary. At First Coast Lighting and Fans.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Instant Keys saves the day if you have lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call 722-1111.
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
This is Hayes Carline here to help you break free from the chains of pest infestation. The talk of this town is Kingfish Pest Control. By now, many of your neighbors have already joined the Kingfish Revolution, leaving their homes and lawns protected and pest-free. Now it's your turn. Call Kingfish Pest Control and say goodbye to termites, ants, mosquitoes, and other annoying pests. Trust me, you'll get exceptional service and understand why your neighbors and I use Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jaguars.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On January 29, 2012, American snowboarder Shaun White achieves the first ever Super Pipe perfect score in Winter X Games history.
Wow, John, my Clearwater sprinkler system looks great.
All right, Frank, let's go ahead and program your Rainbird timer. How many minutes do you want the zones to run?
John, I think we run from the front 20, the sides 15, the back 10, the garden 5. Clearwater scores!
Well, that's a first, Frank, but you're the boss.
Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers.
And drainage to
ClearwaterJacks.com.
Lauren Brooks here from Mayport CNC Fisheries. Want the freshest seafood in town? From mahi to tuna to scallops to oysters. Mayport CNC Fisheries is in Atlantic Beach. Do what I did. Go enjoy Mayport CNC Fisheries.
People who suffer from arthritis are getting real pain relief with exciting biologic therapies at QC Kinetics.
The success rate is there, and there's no better way to treat yourself when it comes to dealing with pain.
Meet Tyler Vale, co-founder of QC Kinetics, who says they can't cure arthritis, but they can treat the pain.
If you think of the tide coming in and out on the beach and what it does, it erodes the sand, right? Can't stop the tide, but eventually when the sand or the beach gets bad enough, we backfill that beach with sand so that we get generations of enjoyment with that beach again. And the same thing happens with your knee or your shoulder or your hip or your back. We want to backfill the problems that have happened to this point. I'm not stopping the tide, so I'm not stopping the arthritis, but I want to get generations of enjoyment out of those joints again.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation. Learn more about how restorative biologic therapies can get you real and lasting joint pain relief.
Call QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522.
Hayes Carline here. Tired of missing out on the conversation due to hearing loss? At Jacksonville Hearing and Balance, their team of audiologists led by Dr. Douglas Green can help you rediscover the joy of connection. Visit jhbi.org today.
Now that's what I call high-quality H2O.
If you want high-quality H2O in your home, call your local water boy, Keith, at Kenai Water Jacksonville. That's Kenai Water Jacksonville.
If your ride is making strange noises, don't wait and make it worse. Come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road. My expert technicians can diagnose the problem and likely fix it fast. Experience the difference at Action Transmission on Merrill Road.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Connick comes out to catch near the top of the arc. 13:40 to go. Backdoor cut. Kugel's got it. Winds up and dunks it with two hands. Boy, he cocked that thing all the way behind his neck.
Mondays on XL Primetime, brought to you by Mokama. Check out their great craft in the tap room in Fernandina Beach.
Yeah, the Gators were able to pull off a win over the Georgia Bulldogs in hoops in Gainesville, but not easy. Not easy. I'm listening to Compton and Company on my way to PGA Tour Entertainment, and Ronnie says something to the effect of, wow, it was a 23-point lead. It's now down to 13. He goes, I don't like that. And the next thing you know, Georgia comes storming back, and they are headed to OT, and they end up getting it done. Zion getting it done. That's the Gators, Zion with a Y, and pulls them through. But they needed it, but they were destroying the Bulldogs in the first half of that.
Matt, would you like to?
Keyword there were.
Would you like to give us your perspective on the game, of how you were being kept abreast?
First off, I mean, I'm like minding my own business, having a great day at the beach with my dog, and I'm just hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting texts from Hacker about Florida's boat race in Georgia. First off, I
the old
care
Mike
less.
White conversation.
I can care. I mean,
it's been years since I heard it.
It's like not only is it a regular season game, it's a regular season game like one of the first 6 or 7, right?
Yeah, of conference play. Yes.
Who cares?
Oh, that's
so he's texted me. It's a big rivalry. He's texting me like Mike White. Mike White blows, blah blah blah. And then all of a sudden, about 20 minutes later, I start getting more texts. Wait, are you kidding me? So then I actually had to call him. Like, what's going on? They're almost blowing the lead. And I'm just thinking to myself, bro, it's Saturday. It's 1:30. It's a beautiful day.
Yeah.
Go somewhere, man.
He's locked in.
He is so locked in. It's not even funny.
Well, this is what happens when your college team struggles in football. We're spring sports champions.
Yeah.
Hey, I get the same
winter
way.
sports too.
Hey, winter sports.
He
winter
is
and spring
so
sports champions.
locked in right now.
Yeah,
man.
that's all we got, Brett. That's all we got. That's all we have.
I just love how Mike White's, and it's not just Hack, by the way. Like Mike White still lives rent free in many Gator fans' heads. I don't know if there's an equivalent. Is there?
Like I told you guys, I like what I see from Todd Golden. I really do. It's a fun team to watch.
Right.
And
from people inside that network, like they've said, like
forget about
how
him.
he views analytics and all that, it's great.
Yeah. But like you say, just forget about Mike White. Let him be gone instead of trying to get
Let him live his best life.
Get
Right.
even or whatever.
I mean, he's the equivalent of, and this is with all due respect to the program and Mark Stoops, like he is at an institution where he can, be a bubble team, make the NIT, as long as he's winning somewhere between 15 to 20 games.
Yeah, because
not even like 14 to 20 games, everybody's happy.
Do you think Kirby even knows what he looks like?
I'm sure they pass each other.
I feel like Kirby and Tom Crean were friends, so he probably does, but I don't know if they actually are friends.
I bet they're friends. Yeah.
But he's at a football school with zero pressure, and now Todd Golden is carrying the torch for the University of Florida, along with our man in baseball. Okay, Kevin O'Sullivan. I mean, that's what it boils down to.
Don't forget about softball too. Hey, and women's lacrosse going to be a top 25
Gymnastics.
team. Golf, yes, tennis.
Natties.
Go down
Golf,
the line.
Natty, man, yeah.
By the way,
except for the sports that actually make revenue.
We care about.
As we look down the line for the now 4-3 in the SEC, Florida Gators men's basketball team, they travel to Kentucky this upcoming Wednesday. The same Kentucky that got boat raced by a South Carolina squad in Columbia last week. So I would think they're going to be a little fired up. They snuck past Arkansas over the weekend. Then they travel to Texas A&M, if you were paying attention last week, yes.
2 L's so far.
One of the the leading team with 4 quad 1 wins in the SEC. Then you host Auburn, who just got beat in the Iron Bowl on the basketball court.
That might be 3 L's in a row.
LSU's probably a win, but then again, it's...
And then after LSU, you're at Georgia.
And then you're at Alabama, who I understand the metrics favor them more than many casual eyes will because they're not the Alabama team they were last year. Mark Sears is probably still one of the best point guards in the country.
What
and
you're
you have
saying
to
is
go
this,
to Tuscaloosa.
This could be a rough month for Hackers, what you're saying.
You could be staring down the barrel of 1-4, if not 1-5.
Well, that's really what it comes down to. It's just find out who you are, build this thing. Like I said, that roster was turned over dramatically, and that's really all you could do. That's the job you're supposed to do. Year 1 to year 2 with Todd Golden versus year 1 to year 2 with Billy Napier, much different.
It's a funner team now. Yeah. They score now, and they get up and down the court now.
They have
They've got some big guys that
height,
some length.
presence inside, and they have transition scorers, and that's stuff that
They've
just
got
did
length.
not
They didn't
have.
have length last year. They haven't had length for a few years, actually. So, they're at least fun to watch.
Well, it's a game that I had to rewatch that I actually missed on Friday. It was the women's game, South Carolina versus LSU.
Mm-hmm.
I missed that game.
Thursday night.
I forgot it was a Thursday night game. I missed that game, and I said, don't nobody tell me the score. I'm going to watch it again. I had to watch it again.
I like that.
I loved it.
Yeah.
It was absolutely.
By the way, there's a report
It was a barn burner. Huh?
Speaking of the LSU women's basketball team that won the national championship, there's a report out. They lost $8 million last year.
As an athletics department.
As a program. The
women's basketball.
The women's
it just
basketball
shows you need football, man.
Why is that?
Travel, I'm sure.
Just from the travel and everything
I'm sure
else.
it's travel and
so the football team supplements everything else. It's interesting you say that. I have to go back and see if I can find this. But remember the report we threw out last week that Booty was in Baton Rouge.
Booty.
Yeah, I tried to name him Booty to begin with, and then I said, just go ahead and let's go with Booty. But
Mia did too. That was her team name.
Yeah, he had placed
Get that Booty.
9,000, close to 9,000 bets. Anyway,
8,900 to be fair.
Close to 9,000. And they were talking about some of the stuff that they have done down in Baton Rouge as far as some of the NIL money included with that women's basketball team. It's crazy how much money they have. They're one of the top NIL teams with all their sports involved, not just football.
So athletic department wide.
Yeah. They've done a really good job there. They really have, as far as that goes. Hell, you got to
pay
some of those tabs.
Toward the loss.
I don't know.
If you pay out X amount of money, does that go? It can't be, right?
No, because it's not the university school.
Well, I know it's not, but it really is, because that money typically would go to the university athletic fund. Typically, that's why these athletic directors are so upset, because a lot of this money that boosters are giving for NIL, it typically would go straight to the athletic department.
We knew it was coming.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you want it to keep coming to your athletic department, pay the player.
That's
we're done.
About that, man.
Then we're done.
About that.
Big Searcy, enjoy the rest of the afternoon.
You got it.
He is out the door. The quarterback whisperer and Brock Purdy, I think, are both coming in at the same time. No. Brock Purdy's publicist and the quarterback whisperer are coming in at the same time. That'll be coming up in the 2 o'clock hour. A Mokama Beer Company Monday on XL Primetime.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL.
Wonder what this does. I should pull it.
1010XL. 92.5 FM.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm dedicated to helping businesses manage risk, maximize opportunities, and move their company forward. Jimerson Burr attorneys are business-oriented lawyers, equally comfortable as community leaders, private transaction counselors, or courtroom advocates. If you have a legal issue of any kind affecting your business, contact the firm at 389-0050 or jimersonfirm.com.
Joe C. for Roland Reese Plumbing, a local company that came through when I needed them the most. I was desperate. I had a water heater that was starting to leak, starting to crank some water out underneath, rust going down the driveway. Well, guess what? When I know a guy that I know can really come in and get the job done in a hurry, that's exactly what happened. It's the thing that you can count on with a local Jacksonville plumber. You can log on jacksonvilleplumbing.com, but just know this: quality and experience count. Roland Reese Plumbing, available 24/7, and you have a plumbing job, you don't want to deal with it, make sure you get in touch with them. Good folks, and they can take care of you in a hurry. Roland Reese Plumbing.
This is Keith Catlin for Catlin Truck Accessories, and we are so blessed to be in business for over 100 years. Over 100 years of the best product and customer service means you can count on Catlin. From Roll and Lock bed covers to Lear toppers to cam locker toolboxes, Catlin Truck Accessories has you covered when it comes to your truck or van. We do those too. Got a fleet of vehicles? We can outfit them all.
Who can you count on?
count on Catlin.
One name, one location, 100 years. You can count on Catlin.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Shen Yun shows are coming January 30th to 31st to Jacksonville Center for the Performing Arts. Shen Yun revives 5,000 years of civilization through choreographed dance, with music combining classical Western and Chinese instruments and dynamic 3D backdrop. Come see it at least once in your lifetime. January 30th through 31st. Tickets at shenyun.com/FL.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Mike Dempsey here. Look, your fantasy football season might be over, but you can still win money playing fantasy sports on Underdog Fantasy with their Pick'em game. Just pick higher or lower on players' projected stats. They have a boatload of Pick'em contests to spice up the games. So act now, and you can win up to 100 times your money if all your picks hit. Underdog is so easy to play, even easier to get started, though. Just download their app, the Underdog Fantasy app in the App Store, or visit UnderdogFantasy.com and sign up using promo code 1010XL. Underdog will double your first deposit up to $100. They even give you a special pick of higher than 1/2 total yards to use on your first pick'em entry to get you started in the right direction. Look, you know I love daily fantasy sports. It's why I play at Underdog Fantasy, and there's no better time to make money on the biggest football game of them all than right now. Sign up using promo code 1010XL. You do have to be 18 or older and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. If you're concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Jeff Prosser here. Need that garage floor redone? Pool deck? Patio? Well, I did my homework and found out there's only one company offering a lifetime warranty, Jack's Concrete Coating. How do they do it? They're the certified Pintech dealer for North Florida, so they are the only company offering pure polyurea. Trust me, I can speak firsthand to their work, and it is awesome. Go to jacksconcretecoatings.com or call 904-862-2000.
Hey everybody, Jennifer Marion with Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville here to say hello, and we'd sure like to have your business.
You know what? They're going to love the king of price.
My dad believes in making great deals and having a great selection in stock.
Cadillac XT4s, XT5s, and XT6s, and Escalades.
The all-electric Cadillac Lyriq.
CT4s and CT5s.
Cadillac luxury and selection is just waiting for you.
At Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
And don't forget, tell them Jennifer sent ya.
Were you forced into a nosebleed mortgage rate in this past year? Loan Pronto is here to rescue you. Hey, it's Prosser. Listen, if your mortgage rate is over 7, you're going to be in heaven with Loan Pronto's zero-cost refi. You can cut your house payment by hundreds of dollars and even do it with zero closing costs and no appraisal. Rates have plummeted to the lowest point in nearly 12 months, and it's time to say goodbye to that bad loan you got stuck with. Loan Pronto's got APRs with fixed rates in the 5s. So don't live with that record high a day longer. You can lock in a lower rate now with virtually no paperwork or cost involved. Call now and see how much lower you can get your house payment. Refi now, and you can even skip your next 2 house payments altogether. Call for a free 30-second quote, 904-999-1508. At loanpronto.com, you can find out more. 904-999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update. I'm Andrew Gibson for 1010XL. Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs are going to their 4th Super Bowl in the last 5 seasons.
We got a lot of guys on this team that know how to win. And when playoffs came around, I knew we were going to make it happen. And now we're in the Super Bowl, and the job's not done. We got to go out there into Vegas and play a great team and see if we can go out there and get the Super Bowl.
On their postseason run to yet another Super Bowl, the Chiefs have been helped out by a rookie from Jacksonville on the defensive side of the ball. Chamari Connor from Jacksonville's Trinity Christian Academy has contributed 14 total tackles and a forced fumble this postseason for the Chiefs. Connor was a fourth-round pick out of Virginia Tech in the 2023 NFL Draft. It's 62 degrees at 2 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the quarterback whisperer, Denny Thompson.
Okay, bring it in.
Brought to you by Tyson Sound and Security.
Register Sausage.
And George Moore Chevrolet.
1, 2, 3.
Our man Denny Thompson joins us now, quarterback whisperer. We talk all things quarterback. We'll work some actual team conversation in if we can. I think it's allowed, but welcome in, Denny. How you doing, bro?
I am fantastic. I'm just happy to finally know a championship quality quarterback.
Yeah. We're going to get to it. We're going to get to it right now. Now, listen, we're going to bring up where's Lamar, how magic is Mahomes, all this stuff. But we got to start with Brock Purdy because it was a spirited discussion a week ago about Brock Purdy and what he is, what he isn't, all this stuff. Well, we threw out the numbers earlier, Denny. Second half of this game, they're down 24-7. They're probably second-guessing the heck out of him and everybody else. Then he promptly goes 13 of 16, runs for nearly 50 yards and a score. It was big.
Yeah, it doesn't get any bigger, right? I mean, it's good for him, but really, I think for me, what I'm confused by, Matt, this isn't towards you. It's I was having this conversation with somebody in his camp. It's confusing because we used to love the underdog.
Yep.
Everybody used to love the underdog. And now it's like everybody's so quick to tear people down. And again, that's not Matt's comment, but it's across the board. Like I think 20 years ago, this guy's like the most popular person in the country, and everybody's pulling for him. And for whatever reason, we just now want to know everybody's faults instead of going, he's winning football games.
Right, exactly.
And he's making plays.
On this program, we say judged on dubs. And right now, Brock Purdy won an NFC championship and will be playing for a Super Bowl.
I mean, he's playing great football. He's playing great football. And he's making plays. He's making good decisions. But the bigger thing is that is a talented football team, and nobody can get past that. They see Kittle, and they see Debo, and they see Christian McCaffrey, and it's like, yeah, but Ayuk is catching how many balls? I mean, he is distributing the ball around. It's not like they're just going, hey, we're going to hand it off. Who was the running back for the Ravens when Trent Dilfer was there that rushed for?
Yeah, Jamal Lewis.
Yeah, we're just going to hand it off to Jamal Lewis, 25 times a game. That's not what they're doing.
Right.
He's making plays, and he deserves every bit of this, and I can't wait to see him in Vegas.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying I don't disagree with any of that statement at all. My whole thing is this, is when you've got the best offensive line in the league in front of you, he's not as stressed as other quarterbacks could be.
The Dallas Cowboys had the best offensive line in the league for about 10 years and never won a playoff game.
I don't know about the best, but yeah, they
was really good.
I mean, they had
from Romo to Dak. It was really good.
It was good.
I mean,
no doubt,
I'm just saying you still have to execute. And this guy is executing.
Again, I don't disagree with that at all. At all. The point I made, and I want to see your comment as well, is if Detroit doesn't stumble over themselves and they win that game, what's the talking point after that for the Niners? How they get to the next level? Isn't it? And I'm not saying it's because of Brock, because the NFL is a quarterback-driven league. Isn't it automatically? All right, what do we got to do at quarterback?
I would hope not. I mean, if you go back-to-back NFC championships with a second-year quarterback, I would hope that the conversation would start somewhere else.
How do we make it better for him? Is what you're saying?
How about the defense that let the Lions march down the field their first three drives?
Or it's just, man, Brock got us there in the first 2 years. Imagine what he's going to do years 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that's the thing.
That's not how this industry works.
It's not, but I understand
Denny.
what you're saying.
I mean, Matt's right. It would be all about Purdy.
I disagree.
I
completely disagree. Completely disagree. Like, nobody's talking about replacing Trevor.
Dude, the Ryan Clarks of the world would have been all over his
There's a lot of people.
On a national level?
No,
well, the thing that's the most
definitely on a regional level.
Oh, you're talking about Trevor.
No, I'm saying
the
fact that he was the last pick in the draft hurts him more than it helps him in the eyes of people.
Of course.
I don't disagree with that. That's the old hacker. I don't disagree with that at all.
I mean, that's what's going on here. And my only point is at this point, like, he's really good. We can throw the what-ifs out the window because they're not happening. He got hurt and they lost the first NFC championship. He won the second NFC championship. He's playing in a Super Bowl a second year. He's a finalist for the league MVP. Like, what the hell else does the kid have to do?
Right. And if you're not
beat
a high
Mahomes and win the Super Bowl.
Goodness.
And then go back to it. You
Right.
know the rule. You know the rule.
Beat Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, and he's making $800,000.
Yeah.
Like he's the
And has to
greatest
have a
value. Yeah, he's the greatest value in football. I just don't understand.
They can do this while he is on the cheap. That also helps them mightily.
Oh, yeah.
It really does.
Oh, yeah.
So we're talking about the quarterbacks, the Final Four there that played yesterday, and then now the two that are remaining with our quarterback whisperer, Denny Thompson. And the point that Leon made earlier, which is definitely one worth expanding on with you, is that there are other guys, Dak being one of them, that has everything, almost everything you could ask
Leon's
for.
the same thing.
Very good defense, very good run game, very good line protection. You could say the same for Tua. You can argue maybe the same for Justin Herbert. Poor coaching, but a lot of other goodwill around him, good pieces around him. And Brock, so Brock's not spoiled was the point.
I mean, he fell into a good situation. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to argue that, and he made a good situation better. And I think for me, like that's kind of the way I leave it, is they were good. He got there. They became arguably the best in the NFL in the time that he has played, right? When he got hurt, obviously not. I think that's all you can ask. And in those other situations, like you hear Dak will go for 400, and then the next week he doesn't. Right. But Brock's been consistent. Outside of that Baltimore game, the guy every single week has answered questions. And if you just watch the film just enough, you'll see 10 to 12 plays in every single game that he's making that aren't just on script. He's a baller. He is a certified baller, and he's showing everybody.
His big plays are all off schedule.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about that. And to be fair to Brock, I don't know what this team is with Trey Lance as a quarterback.
We don't have to know.
I mean,
that's the great
thing.
thing.
But I know my point is, what are they? Are
they
10-7? Are they 11-6? They're certainly not what they are with him, right?
No, I don't think so. I mean, obviously, I'm a little bit biased on this, but I mean, I think Brock is right now. If you look at the stats and every measurable wins and all that, he's a top 5 quarterback in the league right now.
And I don't know if I go that far, but I think he's playing really well for what.
I mean, you're not going that far because you think other people have better traits than him, right?
I think other people are better players than him, better quarterbacks than him is what I think.
Okay. Well, when they start winning, then
how many of those quarterbacks could be put on the Niners?
We don't need. That's my point. That's the thing that everybody always says.
Well,
we just talk about.
Huge argument.
No, it's not because we just talk about every other team.
It's hard
and
to
why
ignore
they
that,
can't. Y'all, the guy's gone. He's won every playoff game that
I'm
he's
not
finished.
Saying he's not. I'm not saying
you
he's
can't
not.
say that about anybody else.
I'm not. All I'm saying is it's hard to ignore that it's set up around him. It absolutely is.
Yeah, but the examples we gave, there's setups everywhere.
I understand that, and I get what y'all are saying, but how is that hard to ignore? But it's easy to ignore that the kid's just winning.
No, I'm not ignoring that. I agree with you. I just said that. Like, what are they with Trey Lance?
I think if Herbert was there, I think if Trevor was there, I think if maybe even Dak was there, I think there is a handful of quarterbacks that if they played for the 49ers would be just as good as Brock Purdy.
I think you're wrong.
So he's not a top 5 to me.
I think you're wrong, and I think I have the proof to back up that Brock is the best situation in the NFL right now. And he is playing better than anybody else.
Right. Well, you have the proof because he's there doing
that's
it. That's
my point.
Yeah.
Everything that everybody else is saying is what ifs. I'm telling you right now with certainty, the kid's winning NFL football games every single week, and people are still finding these things.
Yeah, let me give you a little more ammo. The 3 quarterbacks that we just mentioned all made the playoffs last year, came back this year. 2 of the 3 didn't make the playoffs, and one of them got embarrassed by the Detroit Lions because Justin Herbert was a playoff quarterback last year. So was Trevor, and so was Dak Prescott. And so, to your point, Brock Purdy was able to weather the storm, all the criticism and everything, and just keep making plays.
I get it, but I think that at some point you just have to look up and go, you know what, the kid's pretty dang good.
I do think he's good. I don't think he's a top 5 quarterback in the NFL.
I think he's pretty good, too. I don't think he's top 5.
Yeah, Denny admitted he was biased when he said
he's good.
Yeah.
I like this counterpoint from 576. If it is all the 49ers, if it is all the structure around Brock Purdy, why didn't Trey Lance ball out in that same system?
Because he sucks.
Yeah. Well,
we're saying Brock is good.
Here's the deal. They traded up to get him, made a massive mistake in trading up to get him, and then I give John Lynch credit in this case, and maybe Kyle as well. They said, this is not good. And they drafted another guy. What was it, 2 drafts later that they went and got
was it
Brock?
One?
Or was it a single draft later?
It was the next one.
Yeah,
it
was the next one.
Yeah, so it was the next one. Said, you know what, let's at least take this guy and make sure we have an insurance policy. Insurance policy now is turned to gold.
Yeah.
By the way, one more off the text line because I think it does bear some merit. Is part of this the underdog mentality can't be appreciated nationally in regards to Brock Purdy? because he is in the most anti-underdog city in San Francisco?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
If he's in Kansas City, if he's in Jacksonville, if he's in Detroit,
yeah,
is it a different perception?
Probably so. That's an interesting way to look at it, too, because we always look at the other way. Like, does the bigger markets help you and all that kind of stuff? Maybe so. I don't know. It's just
I think we love to hate, like Denny said.
Yeah, it's just interesting. I don't know.
He looks like you got to wipe his nose. He really does. He looks like he just this little kid. And I tell you, I got to give him all the credit in the world because he's unassuming. He's not flushed in a moment. He just performs.
Yeah, and I was telling somebody the story yesterday. The first time that he came in the facility, we were watching film of his bowl game that they had just played. I think it was Clemson, and he had a really bad play in it. I mean, a really bad play. And my son, who was 10 at the time, maybe 9, walks into my office as that play is going and starts laughing. Like, Brock's never met Walker at this point. Just starts laughing at him. And I'm looking at him, and Will, he was looking at him like, what are you doing? Brock just kind of turns around and starts laughing with him. Right? He's like, yeah, that's funny. And then it's just the way he is. Like, everything rolls off his back, but when he gets between those lines, man, that dude is a dog. And I think that's the other thing. Everybody sees nice Brock. Let's go talk to his teammates.
Yeah. Yeah, good. I love it. I love it because we're talking about a little fire that needs to be in sunshine here locally, and so whenever you hear that from those teammates, you need that guy that will settle for nothing less than winning every single.
I mean, this guy is diving head first for first downs last night.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy that everybody says has no athleticism and can't, like, this guy's picking up 15,
Tried
20
to run
yards.
Over his own lineman.
Yeah, it's just there's a
line.
will. There's a will there, man. He's going to figure this stuff out, and that plays. It always plays in every industry. If you want it bad enough, it's going to play, and he wants it so badly that it doesn't matter what limitations other people think that he has.
All right, so let's spend the next seg on Lamar. Will he ever get there? How magic is Mahomes? And then get to what they did or didn't do with play calling and decisions down the stretch with Dan Campbell and my Lions. Unbelievable. All right, Mokama Beer Company Monday. We keep rolling until 3 o'clock. We got the quarterback whisperer hanging out with us on XL Primetime.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. Jaguars and Gators, pro, college, and high school sports.
Wow.
Get the most play-by-play on 1010XL, Jacksonville's play-by-play sports radio. Now, the Florida Gator Report on 1010XL, brought to you by Darley's Plumbing.
Florida men's basketball wins their third straight game with a 102-98 overtime victory over Georgia. Michael Hand-Logden tallied 23 points and 17 rebounds in the win. Florida Gator baseball just around the corner, and Gators get their 4th top 5 preseason ranking. Baseball America ranks them number 4 in the country behind Wake Forest, LSU, and Arkansas.
I'm Frank Franzi, and I'm so impressed with Darley's Plumbing and the work they're doing at our new Walk-Off Charities field. The Darley's team has been so easy to work with on this great project. I heard good reviews about them for years, and they have absolutely proved it to me. I learned Darley's is a company I can trust for my plumbing needs, and you can too.
Thanks for those kind words, Frank. At Darley's Plumbing, we don't just do residential house calls. We're your first draft pick for commercial business plumbing, too. Darley's Plumbing, where quality counts.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. You know, battling a sinus infection for the past few weeks has been no picnic, especially when trying to stick to a weight loss program. But here's the funny thing. With Awaken 180, the trick to losing weight is actually eating. Now, when you're under the weather and have zero appetite, keeping up with a diet plan sounds like climbing Mount Everest. But here's the kicker. Even though I wasn't feeling hungry, I didn't gain a pound. In fact, I'm now 36 pounds lighter, all thanks to my coach, Krista. Without her guidance, I probably would have thrown in the towel and watched those pounds creep back. The Awaken 180 coaches have seen it all and helped more than 21,000 others get through every imaginable scenario. So if you're tired of going solo and want a coach, a friend really, in your corner, stop trying to wing it. Call the expert at Awaken 180, weight loss, 844-346-1800, or check them out at awaken180weightloss.com. Trust me, it's a game changer.
Men suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, frustrated taking pills that don't work. Here's a message from Prime Men's Medical Center.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Prime Men's Medical Center offers breakthrough treatments with men lasting longer than ever without pain or surgery.
Call now. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results right in the office. Call Prime Men's Medical Center now. 904-664-8217. That's 904-664-8217.
When all you have is a hammer, everything is a nail. I'm Dr. George Bari, and like me, I know you have been bombarded with PRP and stem cell treatments from companies that promise the world and charge prices to match. Or the surgeon that convinced you the only way to treat your injuries through surgery. At Bari Orthopedics, we offer the best PRP treatment on the market with prices that won't cost you an arm and a leg. We also have the expertise to treat your injury surgically, if that is what it entails. We can discuss all surgical and non-surgical options with you and make sure you get the best treatment available. Come see me, Dr. George Bari at Bari Orthopedics.
Hey, Scarline here. Tired of missing out on the conversation due to hearing loss? At Jacksonville Hearing and Balance, their team of audiologists led by Dr. Douglas Green can help you rediscover the joy of connection. Visit jhbi.org today.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700, offices Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
Give us your hot take.
Pop quiz, hot shot.
On the 1010XL text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures.
You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm awake and I speak English, so yeah, I do know what you're saying.
Be part of the conversation. 641-1010.
You don't have to be a football star to get a signing bonus. The team at Republic Services needs your skills, and they're paying up to $5,000 for you to join the roster. You'll be joining a winner. As an essential business, the Republic Services trucks have not stopped rolling with hourly and weekly pay and better benefits and vacation packages than the rest of the league. Driver trainees, $1,000 sign-on bonus. CDL drivers, $3,000. Diesel mechanics, $5,000 bonus. Join the winning team at Republic Services today. Visit republicservices.com.
Equal opportunity employer.
Certainly facing challenging economic times. I can't speak for all of us, but for me, comforting to know my money is in good hands with ITP Partners. Ticket here for ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. I'll admit it, I don't understand a ton about the economy, higher interest rates, 401ks, but I do know as I move closer to retirement, I continue to watch my money grow. Thanks to Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, and Reed Wingate. Get in the game, guys. ITP Partners, always there to help. For more info, Chris at ITPPartners.com or call 904-312-9751.
Exciting news from Leonard in Jacksonville. Now stocking your favorite brands right here at Leonard. From truck accessories, toolboxes, hitches, carry-on trailers, and more. Grand opening on February 2nd at noon with free prizes. Don't miss it. Leonard Buildings and Truck Accessories. Your truck, your style.
You've got a circle of friends, right? Well, how about a circle of beer? All your favorites like Bud Light, Bud Heavy, Mick Ultra, or Natty Light. It's all there in the cold case at Circle K. Probably one right around the corner right now calling your name. Slide on in to a Circle K.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Mondays on XL Primetime, brought to you by Mokama. Check out their great craft in the tap room in Fernandina Beach.
If you're looking for the Brock Purdy discourse, we've gone through it. It will be available on demand on 1010XL's
Matt
YouTube
and I will be
and
doing an
Facebook
after
channels.
show.
Yes,
It's so dumb. Like all we're doing is literally talking. Like it's not. This is what we do. Like
I
once
agree.
a year. And
This is good sports radio.
Everybody's online.
We had
going,
like charity reaching out to set up a fight for us.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
these happen all the time.
On the text line, they were like, "When is the showdown coming?" I wish I was kidding. We had somebody text on the 12 o'clock hour. They're
Radio's
like,
gotten soft since the sports team went off. Like,
Can
Bring
we
it back.
get him on during the off season?
Brock?
Probably not.
Yeah, that's the question.
Dude.
I don't know. That's not a me question.
Yes, it is.
That's not a me question.
Oh, because you can
would be-
shame him into getting on.
Yeah, you would be our conduit, bro. so
I
you
don't know about
you have
that.
to accept that responsibility.
Part of why I'm segueing away from Brock Purdy is we only have a limited amount of time with the quarterback whisperer, Denny Thompson, and so we do need to get into the performance in the AFC Championship game from Lamar Jackson, from Patrick Mahomes. Let's begin with Lamar, since Matt just looked up at the TV and said, "Are you telling me that Lamar in the San Francisco?" I thought Lamar didn't play well. Yes.
No, I don't know what happened to Lamar.
Was
No
it
idea what
Todd Monken putting it all on him
Yeah,
and
did
saying
Todd Monken happen to
you
Lamar?
need to be a pocket passer?
It looked different. To be fair, it looked different, but I also think Lamar plays such a game off schedule that on those days where it's not working for him off schedule, man, it's hard to get a rhythm. He takes forever in the pocket.
Yeah.
And granted, that's how he gets a lot of his plays. He kind of waits for him to develop and lets you retreat a little bit, and he takes off. But he just wasn't able to do that yesterday. And you got to credit Kansas City. I mean, Kansas City's defense gets overlooked a lot, I think. They make you drive down the field, and they have all year. And they just did a good job containing him.
So let's ask this question, because this is the thing that's the most confusing part to me, because I do think Todd Monken called a terrible game. They only handed off the ball to running back 6 times, Denny, and we know he is the great improvisational master, but he pressed because he was in the pocket and asked to, I don't know, make quicker decisions down the field and make better throws. That's not Lamar.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not real sure. I would love to hear what happened. I'd love to be in the meeting room in Baltimore and Detroit today. Would love to hear that.
Yeah.
But I think it's 2 completely different situations. I think the Baltimore one, they got there one way and it was on Lamar's back, and you hear Lamar can't win, and it's like, okay, well, let's keep going. And then it just didn't work. And I think he's such a good athlete that you would have a tendency to do that. If you're in a bigger game, I want my better player to get the ball more. I want him to make more decisions, a bigger effect on the game. And it just didn't work. And I think, Lamar, we forget he's still, what is this, year 5?
Yeah, but the MVP threw it into triple coverage.
No, I know.
Yeah.
No, I'm not taking up for him. I'm just saying, again, I'm the wrong person to criticize these guys because, I have a hard time. He went all the way to the AFC Championship.
Oh, yeah.
A heck of a year.
Great. He was great.
And, yeah, it's like at this point, that's that next big hump for him. But, man, it's going to be hard to get over Mahomes in the AFC because this guy's Jordan. This guy is during the regular season, he makes you think maybe he's lost a little bit, and then he pops in, and it's like, nope.
Crazy.
I control everything that happens on this football field when I'm on it.
I mean, it's going to be hard for anybody to get over the Mahomes hump.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not a knock on Lamar.
No,
I just don't know who's going to do it.
I was saying this earlier, and I want to get your thoughts on this, is if you're a quarterback now in the league and you're playing the Chiefs, every possession is critical. Yep. You cannot blow a single possession.
And I think that happened to Baltimore too. I think they got in that game and they realized early on, I think they thought that we're going to score with them. And then the game kind of settled in to not be that. And then you go, well, why'd they only run the ball 6 times? But that's a good point. That's the effect that they have on you game planning, when you have to go in and go, we may not be able to run the ball as much because we're going to have to keep up with 15. Right. And then even if it doesn't happen, that's kind of your game plan for the week.
So listen to this list, and I know that you're comfortable with hearing all these names and not being shocked, but somebody might. Pat Mahomes, playoff wins by opposing quarterbacks. Andrew Luck, Deshaun Watson, Lamar, Josh, Joe Burrow, Roethlisberger, T-Law, Tua, Tannehill, Baker, Jalen Hurts, Super Bowl, Jimmy Garoppolo, Super Bowl. Think about that, bro.
Yeah. It's just not fair. He's playing a different game. I looked at my 12-year-old yesterday. I looked at Walker, and I was like, he just plays a different game than everybody else plays. He don't have to move his feet. He can get to every – I don't know if you ever watched this guy, but he will set his hip all the way to the left sideline, and he can, like an owl, just get his body all the way around the field and make any throw that he wants to make on that football field, and that's not even fair.
Yeah.
When you can just sit there and just flick your wrist and throw a 20-yard out to the field – you're just different than everybody else.
So when I ask the question of, are they approaching Patriots territory? Are they approaching Warriors territory?
Yeah, I think they have to be, right? Well, is this number 5 in a row that as far as championship games?
In terms
is that what it was?
Yes, it is.
She's saying in terms of hate.
In terms of the hate.
Yeah. Oh, hate?
Sports hate.
Because I don't hate Patrick Mahomes. I enjoy watching this greatness, and I think it's genuine. I think with Tom Brady, there was perhaps a little bit of a we're over here doing our work over here, no days off. Whereas with Patrick Mahomes, he wants you to be included on this ride. But
always smiling.
Well, I think half the hate is tired of seeing the red, and the other half the hate is tired of seeing Taylor. Mm-hmm. And it's just kind of mixed to the perfect. Yesterday again, I was the only person pulling for them, and we had 10 people at the house. Yeah. And that's back-to-back weeks. So I don't know why everybody hates Kansas City, but
I love your Michael Jordan comparison, because we always get fooled by the NBA regular season versus what we see in the postseason. And I have to admit, I continue not counting Pat Mahomes out, counting their offensive line out, counting their receivers out, just counting others that weren't going to come up. And yet that offensive line's been a liability, Denny, and you wouldn't know it.
And we have seen some of the best NFL football games in the history of the NFL with this guy.
Yeah.
The one with he and Josh Allen a couple years ago, I can't think of a better game, a better example of quarterback play even. The guy just answers the bell every single time. And he's coming up, to your point, he's coming up in an era of good quarterbacks. It's not like he's coming up in an era where there's no competition. Every year there's somebody that they say is going to knock him off, whether it's Josh Allen or Trevor or Lamar or whatever it is, and they just don't.
And now this year it's
Joe Burrow.
He hasn't ever played on the road. All right, so now I'll go on the road and do it.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah. And make a mockery of it. Like, I'm going to kick the kicker's balls while I'm there. Like, that didn't sound right.
Or at least put Travis Kelce up to it.
That's very Herb of you.
Yeah, exactly.
That'll be a drop coming up next
bad,
time the
Lambo.
quarterback whisperer joins us. Let's pivot to Jared Goff, the one of the 4 quarterbacks we haven't talked about yet. We spoke last week about Mark Brunell, how much he's praised Jared Goff. Look, at the end of the day, we said 2 Reynolds drops, 2 decisions to go for it on 4th down. You alter those 4 decisions, those 4 outcomes, and maybe we're talking about a different game.
I think if you watch that game, you're not blaming Jared Goff today. I don't think he has any response. I thought he played well. I thought he made some huge
A bad
throws.
handoff could have been him or Jameer.
Yeah. I mean, there's mistakes going to happen in a flow of a game you can't have, but I just don't understand. The 4th down calls made no sense to me at all. And then it was like, I think I told you guys this at the break, San Francisco played a little bit of man, and then all of a sudden it was like they made it against the rules for Detroit to run.
Isn't that wild?
And
Why does that happen?
It's a lot of times it's just you have 2 play calls, and if they're in man and the box count is this, then you're just going to throw, right? That's just an always play. And so that I don't know if that's what happened, but I'm assuming is they kept getting a look that had them throw and not run, and they kept doing it.
That's a 1 or 2 thing. You go to line with 2 plays. If it's this, you
the
gotta
box
run
count
that.
says
If it's
this,
that,
we're going to throw.
Right.
And San Francisco gave them a box count that was anti-run, and so they started throwing the ball. But at some point, like, you go to the sideline and go, hey, we're just going to run.
Right.
Like, for now, we're only going to check these couple plays. We feel good about these concepts. We're just going to stay on it. And maybe that happened, maybe it didn't. But, man, it looks – I would hate to be Dan Campbell today.
Yeah, because, like I said, I picked him. I bet on him, all this stuff, and was so stoked that they had a chance to do it. And I think Dan Campbell should never apologize for who he is, but you also have to know that one individual moment. And I pointed out 2 of them. When against Dallas, when you had a chance to be a higher seed, and you got mad because they waved off your player or your tackle eligible, he got stubborn and kept trying to make the play instead of kick a field goal to go to overtime. It was a bad decision.
Yeah.
And then the third not going for it or going for it on 4th down was a really bad.
Yeah, I didn't even understand the point of it yesterday.
Yeah.
Like it was 4th and 2 or 3, right? I mean, both of them. It wasn't a
4th and
yard.
3. Yeah.
And in the game flow, it just was an automatic. You got to kick that. You have to kick that. And then when he went for it, you're like, no, there's no way. I don't understand it. I know it's kind of his identity, and he wants his guys to win football games, but, man, that didn't win you the football game.
When you're up, you keep applying pressure to
Absolutely.
You go up 3 scores. How does he not? Someone on the sideline not say, Coach, let's go up 3 scores on the road.
That's what I'm saying. They did. They had to.
God.
They did. And he just, no, this is what we do. And if it would have worked, we'd be talking about it today. And, hey, that Dan Campbell's a heck of a coach. But it didn't work. And that's why he's not a heck of a coach today.
Real quick before we let you go, I said this to you as you walked in. Senior Bowl this week, the Shrine Bowl game going on. Practices have already begun. Austin Reed's dazzling.
Killing it, yeah.
Maybe some other intel you've heard of, him and maybe some other guys.
I haven't heard a lot. I told you guys he texted me late last night and said, "Are you up?" And I'm like, "No, I'm never up past this time." But so I haven't even talked to him. But I've been reading the same things everybody else has been reading. They are doing this cool thing there where they actually track the metrics, and you can follow like top speed, spin rate, all that kind of stuff. And all of his metrics are great. I mean, he's doing what he's supposed to be doing, and the kid just wins football games, and he's got a great personality, a great leadership quality. So he's going to do well in this game. And, I think it'll be an exciting time for him in the draft.
Love that. Love that.
Yeah. St. Aug's finest.
I think we had a fun time today.
Yeah.
It was all fun. It was all fun.
It's always all fun.
Exactly. That's why you
week.
join us on Mokama Mondays.
Always all fun.
You're a big coffee drinker. I think we need
I
to
am.
get the Mokama coffee.
Yeah.
Here for Denny at some
We
point.
can do it. We can do it.
Let's do it.
All right, you're the man. Appreciate it.
All righty.
At Denny_Thompson. Don't forget, check him out. 6 Points Academy. He says the book is full, but that doesn't mean he can't take on your 5-star.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealers Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers. Dan Hicken.
I'm totally unappreciated in my time.
Jeff Prosser.
If we're going to work together, you might want to try trusting me.
They are the drill.
The 4 worst words in the English language.
Mornings on 1010XL.
I'm a little bit mixed up. Let me see if I can get the facts straight.
Tired of dealing with clogged drains? What about bad smells coming from your pipes? No matter how big or small your commercial or residential project may be, my friends at Duck Duck Rooter can handle it. Contact them today for all your plumbing, septic, and air conditioning needs at 904-862-6769. And while I have your attention, Duck Duck Rooter is also hiring plumbers. They offer excellent weekly pay, health insurance, paid holidays, 401k, and more. Apply now at duckduckrooter.com and they'll call you for an interview.
Start your new year off healthy and get screened at Ackerman Cancer Center with on-site imaging, including whole body MRI, PET and CT scans, and mammography. Early detection is key. Visit AckermanCancerCenter.com.
I'm Taylor Rose with our Remedy Staffing Westside office off of Normandy Boulevard. We are helping great people find great jobs. Remedy has helped some of the best employers in Jacksonville find talented job seekers like you for over 25 years. Our current job openings range from entry-level distribution center pickers to equipment operators. Apply today at remedygoodjobs.com. Don't wait. Apply at remedygoodjobs.com now.
Mia here for my friends at Arlington Toyota. No payments for 90 days and just $500 down can get you behind the wheel of a brand new Toyota. And with the help of Arlington's pre-approval program, that new Toyota will be sitting in your driveway sooner than you think. Plus, every new Toyota purchase comes with peace of mind of Arlington's lifetime warranty. That's unlimited time and miles. Shop in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, and online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com.
The Bulls are back in town and taking over Jacksonville. Get ready for bull bucking mayhem at VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena, February 23rd and 24th. U.S. Border Patrol PBR Jacksonville is bringing the city 2 nights of bull riding action, featuring the most electric 8 seconds in sports. Come see the toughest sport on dirt at VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena, February 23rd and 24th. Get your tickets today at PBR.com or Ticketmaster.
Hey folks, Hicken here. Now that your kids and grandkids have gone home and the decorations are coming down, I bet you can see it's time to get those carpets and sofas cleaned. I'm telling you, give Zero Res a try if you haven't already. They clean the carpets, the sofa, the chairs, the area rugs, and even the tile and grout. Google them. More than 5,000 5-star customer reviews. And right now, 20% off carpet cleanings, 20% off upholstery. Zero Res. You spell it forward, you spell it backwards. Zero Res. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
Start your Sunday off with a cup of Joe and some sports medicine intel. This is Joe C. inviting you to join me and Dr. George Bari for Breaking Bones every Sunday morning at 7:30. And if you miss an episode, just look for Breaking Bones wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hey everybody, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. Dandy subs and sandwiches. Look, we always want you to think about those great options as you're driving around Duval. But the beauty is, even as I'm dropping pounds, Dandy's got great options for me as well. Told you all about their protein packs, delicious salads that they have out there. They have fruit cups for on the go. You know what they have. Veggie snack trays. You can grab those on the go as well. Perfect, healthy snack. Dandy is the name to know when you're on the go. So stop into a Gates store anywhere around Duval and make yours a Dandy, and do it today.
Ever wonder how you can transform your living spaces into captivating works of art? At First Coast Lighting and Fans, they offer a huge selection of high-quality products to match your desire for elegance, quality, and uniqueness. Visit their showroom on Phillips Highway at the Avenues and step into a world of quality without compromise. Discover the difference that locally owned expertise makes and let them help you experience the transformation from average to extraordinary. At First Coast Lighting and Fans.
Come to Bowden Eye for all your eye care needs. Hicken here. Did you know that diabetes is a leading cause of blindness and affects up to 34 million Americans? Please don't take diabetes lightly. If you have diabetes, see your favorite Bowden Eye doc and save your vision. Bowden Eye is dedicated to the protection and preservation of the treasured gift of sight. Bowden Eye & Associates. Visit today for your personal consultation. Keeping the First Coast focused. New location now open off County Road 210 in St. Johns County.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and I always tell you, hey, what's hot on the street, but what is hot on the water right now?
We've got some big news from Honda. They have a boat coming out, and much like they did with their jet, they went out and partnered with an industry leader in Scout Boats. It's making the hull for them, but everything else in the boat is all Honda.
So you're talking in the next handful of days and weeks, we will see Honda on the water at your showroom.
It'll be on the showroom, and it'll be ready to go.
So log on to cyclesofjacksonville.com. They are in the marine business with Honda. Keep track of it right there on Atlantic near Regency.
This is Hayes Carlion for QC Kinetics. Are you sick and tired of achy joints? Look, you need to call QC Kinetics today. They've got 2 great locations, Mandarin and Ponte Vedra Beach. Give them a call for a free consultation at 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. Look, the state of healthcare is always changing. It's evolving, and old ideas like steroids and surgery, they're no longer your only options. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is transforming lives with innovative, non-surgical, drug-free treatments that deliver lasting results. Knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain, arthritis, injury. Don't let this pain keep you from living your best life. QC Kinetics advanced state-of-the-art treatments harness and direct your body's natural ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. Give them a call today, QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Mondays on XL Primetime, brought to you by Mocama. Check out their great craft in the tap room in Fernandina Beach.
Having a good time on a Mocama Beer Company Monday. Don't forget Tuesday through Sunday to serving up that craft, and you can look for it on the shelves, ABC and Total Wine, if you are out and about and craving some of it. We've been having fun. Well, I think fun just in terms of a football fan. What you saw, great storylines, everything spilling out of Championship Sunday, and then the Jaguar, and you're probably, maybe not having as much fun. But it's just the way it is. You got to figure out how to get there because those teams, particularly the 2 teams that are playing for it all right now, they get there a bunch. They get there on a regular basis. More championship appearances in San Francisco with the 49ers than any other team in NFL history. And then, of course, look at what the Kansas City Chiefs have done with their 4 in the last 5 years, making it to play for the Lombardi. I mentioned all those quarterbacks, and I just want to hit them again just for a second. Mahomes is now 14-3. That's his record. He has completed 67% of his passes. He's thrown for over 4,800 yards. This number gets me. He's rushed for over 450 yards in those games.
Saucy nugs.
39 passing touchdowns, 5 rushing. And he has thrown picks, but he overcomes those 2. It's just nuts what he's been able to do. But the first guy he beat, Andrew Luck. That's how far back we're going. Isn't that so?
I forgot about that guy.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't think he's had any turnovers this playoffs.
No, because up until
he got sacked for the first time in 4 games last night.
And even that was like, hey, they were wasting time. You know, like I think he could have thrown it away, but he realized, like, I'd rather take this sack.
Well, there are games you lean in on, and if you're rooting for one side, you're saying, I smell a pick. I smell a pick. Defense, they're going to make a play. They're going to take it back. You can't even say that with Pat Mahomes. You can't. It just doesn't apply. And, they got to him, but they just didn't get to him enough. And more than anything else, if you had to, like, your shock meter, were you more, like, San Francisco's defense has been pretty solid all season. So I was kind of shocked that they got gutted the way they did. But we knew that they were soft against the run. Baltimore was doing everything right up until this game yesterday, and really had no answer for what they were doing.
I want to make sure I pull up hold on, let me pull it up. It's from PFF, but it was like the running plays, design, like called runs
6
since
of them.
week 1. And
okay,
for the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
And it's like from week 1, it's like 27, 17, 28, 30, 19, 20, the first one in single digits. The first one. And I understand they didn't play from behind all that much this season, but it's inexcusable. Again, it's especially inexcusable when you pair it with what the San Francisco 49ers did in the later game yesterday.
And here's another number that kind of got me a little bit. Going to your point that they ran the ball a bunch during the regular season. That's who they were. That was their identity. We always ask, what's your identity? That's the Baltimore Ravens. Their average points per game, regular season to postseason, was basically cut in half. They went from scoring 28 plus to 16. That's inexcusable. You're supposed to flex your muscles when you get to the postseason. Lamar was sacked 4 times. He was 1 of 6 for a total of 7 yards and sacked twice on 3rd down.
There was panic with them.
Ouch!
You know that? Mm-hmm. There was panic in everything they were doing, the way the game was called.
Yeah.
the way
nothing was easy.
No, and again, I think it goes back to what I said earlier, man. When you're playing Mahomes, you know that clock is ticking.
Yeah.
Because at some point he's going to score, you're not going to score, and then he's going to score again.
Yeah.
And then you are down 2 scores, and then it's almost impossible to come back.
I mean, the touchdown they scored, he should have been sacked. He gets out of a sack, and of course there's a guy running wide open downfield because it had been so long. And then they didn't score until the very last drive of the game.
Yeah. And remember now, they were obviously, were it not for the fumble for Zay, they
Down
would have,
3, yeah.
they would have pulled even with them. And then they did have another chance.
They wouldn't have pulled even. Yeah. They were down 10.
They were still
at
down
that
10.
point, they were down 10.
Yeah.
Okay, you're right. But at that point, they would have drawn to within a score of them, and then they had another chance before the throw into triple coverage. And there was a guy open flagging right at the 10-yard line, and Lamar didn't hit him.
You know what else also is just wildly underrated in this entire thing is the Chiefs are pretty good on defense, man.
Yes.
And
that's
they're
what's carried
really
them.
good in coverage.
That's what's carried them this
yes,
year.
They are really good in coverage. And Chris Jones, oh, by the way, I might pay what he wants to get him here.
Yeah.
Well, how about
a
L'Jarius
grown
Sneed?
man.
How about L'Jarius Sneed? He's going to command big money.
And Trent McDuffie's, just second year in. That guy's balling.
See, we talked about this before the show, and you kind of like hedged a little bit when I said
Chris
Jones.
I love that interior piece in the middle of a defense. I think it's way, way, way underrated. And there are guys that can own that spot. And for Chris Jones' part in this, he can move out when he needs to. That's how good and gifted he is. But I look at the price tag. If it's $30 million, and I'd rather get 2 $15 million pieces, a little bit younger.
What if your 2 $15 million pieces aren't any good?
Well, a little bit younger. I'm talking about at different spots, not just there, because it's the expense of a great guy. And you have to, if you want that greatness, got to pay for it.
Yes,
I get it. I do get it.
We mentioned with Denny that the East-West Shrine Bowl practices have begun. The Senior Bowl, everybody is checking in as we speak, and so the measurements are coming out. And so before we say goodbye on this Mokama Monday, and building off our conversation Friday from @BrodOg04, @BrodOg1000 on Friday, which of course is Trent Baalke's reported burner, or at least his brothers. On XL Primetime, I think we're in agreement. It's the brothers.
I don't know who it is.
Broad Dog Troy.
But they're definitely related. There's no doubt about it.
They're definitely related, and they did mention Tyler Guyton, Anton Harrison's former teammate, line mate at Oklahoma. He just checked in at 6'7", 328, 10-inch hands, a 34 2/8 arm, and then a 82 3/8 wingspan. Inches wingspan.
What a big dude.
The highest among, from what I can see, all offensive linemen
and
so far.
Anton's numbers were a lot
and
like
he wasn't
that.
able to go to the Senior Bowl because he was a true junior.
Right, but those are a lot like that.
Oh, yeah.
Just,
And this guy, it's been reported, the only reason he didn't play more was because Anton was in front of him, and Wanya Morris, who, wait for it, is now playing for a Super Bowl with the Kansas City Chiefs, was also in front of him.
Yeah, so the benefit of playing on a good roster with a good football team.
By the way, they had another good tackle. It was a freshman this year, Caden Green, who transferred to Missouri.
Ooh.
Which is huge.
It's another Eli Gitt.
Are we going to have to give Mizzou a new name? Since Kentucky is the program on XL Primetime,
They're getting there.
What are we going to start calling Drinks Boys?
Mizzou also, by the way, 4 recruits in the top 100 this year. High school recruits. Mizzou.
I did not
Are they all by way of St. Louis?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. So the outside
now we're talking.
One of them, I think, is from Texas.
Yeah. See, so Eli's actually getting a little cachet among the
Well,
recruits.
it's that, but it's also, and I keep saying this, and it's NIL money. It raises all boats, man.
Well, you know who's doing it? If you go back and watch the Ozarks, it's Wendy. Wendy's doing it.
I never watched
Marty
the second half of that last
is behind
season,
it.
by the way. Never did.
You never did? Oh, my God. No. You would find out exactly who.
Because I got annoyed. The first half was annoying to me.
By the way, let's make a note.
You're so off.
I do want,
so off.
I do want to ask you tomorrow or another day this week, Matt. I want to ask you about those Mizzou corners because I know people are pretty high on them as we get ready for draft talk to be in full effect in the next couple of weeks. XL Primetime, I'm going to hand it off to the Frangie Show coming up next.
Cruising with XL Primetime in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. You love him.
A friend.
You hate him.
I guess irony can be pretty ironic sometimes.
You love to hate him and hate to love him.
That's not possible.
It is with this. Ryan the Hacker Green.
Starting to get the picture?
Right after Rick Ballou. Evenings on 1010XL.
Wow, John, my Clearwater sprinkler system looks great. All right, Frank, let's go ahead and program your Rainbird timer. How many minutes do you want the zones to run?
John, I think we run from the front 20, the sides 15, the back 10, the Garden 5. Clearwater scores!
Well, that's a first, Frank, but you're the boss.
Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers.
And drainage to
ClearwaterJacks.com.
PRP treatment is kind of the thing these days, and in many cases, it eliminates the need for surgery. This is Sheridan Tootin, and my experience with PRP from Southeast Orthopedic Specialist has been nothing short of great. I'm really feeling much better now. Ask your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist doctor about PRP treatment.
This is Dr. Kevin Murphy with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, where athletes are treated like pros.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Ready to turn game day into payday? Head to Aces Sports Bar in Best Bet St. Augustine for the ultimate win. Catch all the NFL and college football games on our big screens and play your hand at the tables. Plus, anytime a touchdown is scored, someone wins $100 during select games with Best Bet St. Augustine's Lucky Seat Cash giveaway. Visit bestbetjacks.com for full details.
So I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, Director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 5-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $30,000 a year, and right now graduate making over $80,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition and no student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted into the program, your only costs are the books and the course fees, around $700 a year.
Wow, that sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org, and you can apply there.
John Osher stars as O in Oh No. Yeah. Wednesdays from 10 to noon on Jaguars Today. Johnny O knows the Jags like nobody else. Brought to you by Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Here's Ben and John Lupo, owners of Beard's Diamonds.
It's funny, my dad has sold people engagement rings, and now I'm selling their kids engagement rings and anniversary gifts and birthday gifts.
We're blessed with the relationships we've built over the years.
Check out our full inventory at beardsdiamonds.com.
Beard's Diamonds in the St. John's Town Center.
My friend named Chuck is a do-it-yourself nut. He tried to change his own toilet to save a buck, but he wasn't having much luck. The toilet wobbled and rocked and looked half-cocked. So Chuck pulled the toilet and tried it again, and that's when his wife walked in. Looking at the scene, she could clearly see a plumber Chuck was not meant to be. So she dialed 904-862-6769 to bring her and Chuck peace of mind. If you ever get stuck like Chuck, having no luck, call the Duck. Duck Rooter Plumbing and Septic Services. 904-862-6769.
I-9 Sports. Kids all over the First Coast can enjoy growing up on a field or in a gym. Right now, winter and spring registration is open, so make sure you find out what I-9 Sports offers in your area. Duval, Clay, and St. John's. I9sports.com. Enter 1010 in the promo code for a discount.
Golfers, when's the last time you played Cimarron? New ownership, improved greens, fairways, and tee boxes, a new clubhouse, interior, exterior, including the Stone and Barrel Tap House, indoor-outdoor bar, live music. Practice, learn, and play program is only $59 a month. Unlimited range balls, weekly clinic from teaching professionals. Golf every day, $25 after 2 o'clock. Whether you scratch or just like getting out with your buddies, you have to try the new Cimarron Golf Club on 210.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. It's getting chilly outside, but you can enjoy the outside inside with a new glass lanai from Lifetime Enclosures, or look ahead and get that backyard ready for spring with a new screened-in enclosure. Maximize the space you have and make it great with Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. They truly are the best in the business. Give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Tell them Prosser sent you. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the 2-minute drill. Brought to you by Tire Outlet. Tire Outlet is now hiring. Visit TireOutlet.com/careers. Equal opportunity employer.
Getting ready for the Francis Show. Embedded and Shredded is in the house. Hayes Carline, what did you think of what you saw yesterday?
I was disappointed. I was pulling for the Ravens and the Lions, so it was a tough day of football for me. But it'll be a spectacular Super Bowl from a competitive standpoint. I don't know how often we've had a line that opens at whatever, 1.5. It's at 1
one,
last I checked.
2 now.
It's at 2. Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
See, I kind of think by the time we get to kickoff, it might be a pick 'em to Chiefs by a point.
Yeah.
I'm kind of
It actually
surprised.
has dropped to 1 in the 3 hours.
So
'Cause
it's
I saw
1.
2 for the Niners. Now it's down to 1.
Because anyone, and I agree with what Romo said. Anyone who makes Mahomes an underdogs is an idiot.
I know. He's proved me wrong.
Yeah.
I picked the Ravens.
Yeah,
and,
so did I.
But yeah, I'm never going to pick against them again in the postseason. And I will pick them to beat San Francisco. So I apologize, Chiefs fans. Yeah, I mean, I will say as much as I was pulling for the other teams, it will be a fantastic Super Bowl from all the matchups and things like that. So, it's a far cry from when I was a child and the game was like 40-10 every year for about 10 years.
It was for a long time. And I was in love with the idea the Lions would make it. The only saving grace is that they remain among 4 teams that has never made it, including our Jaguars. And they've been trying to do it for a lot longer.
They are.
Yeah.
I think they're 0 for 58 is what I saw.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. And so they have not the 2 teams that are outside of the AFC South are Cleveland and Detroit, and both of those won championships. It just so happens they were in the 50.
Yeah, exactly. So it was a wild, obviously wild day of football. Great sports weekend, and we'll get to all that coming up on the Frangie Show. Talk a little Gators as well. So some Knowles, some Jags.
Did you watch the basketball on Saturday?
I did. Boy, that was
big rivalry
disaster.
game.
Does Mike White live in your head rent free?
No, I mean, the thing is, like, Florida is so much better than them. Yeah. It's like, what are you doing, blowing this lead? Like, if they played 7 times, I think Florida would win 6 of them.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's like
24 points.
Gosh, I mean, they had this. Georgia has a kid. This is Mike White for you. Georgia has a kid that has barely played and then drops 36 and doesn't miss. I thought Steph Curry had arrived in Gainesville, and I looked at the guy's season numbers. Mike White doesn't play him. I mean, his season high is like 18, and that was against some cupcake. Yeah. His SEC high, this is the Melendez kid that made everything.
You're just giving
for Georgia.
Fodder to Hacker right now. You know that, right?
No, I mean, look, Mike White is a solid coach. But I mean, again, he had. What about that time management he had at the end of the? Florida's lucky they won.
Right.
I mean, that tip-in gets reversed by hand logged in.
That would have been
if they don't have the tip-in, they lose the game.
That would have dogged Todd if that had happened.
It would have been a disaster. But they won, and they're they're now inside the top 40 of the net, and so
and now they got to go play.
They go play Kentucky.
Yep.
Yeah, so
and A&M.
Yeah. I mean, but they need the quad 1 opportunities. They're not going to win at Rupp on Wednesday, but if they can beat Texas A&M, who's I want to say somewhere 40, I think they're 44th in the net, so that's a quad 1 win. If they go get that, and it'll stay a quad 1 win because they're not going to fall out of the 75.
Right.
So that's what Florida needs. You look at their resume; they're 0-6 in quad 1s. So they've got to give the committee 1 or 2 of those to get in on Selection Sunday.
Yeah. All right, big bro, we will be listening. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, guys.
Frangie Show coming up next right now.
Now, today's takeaways, brought to you by Key Buick GMC, where our family dealership has been helping families buy vehicles for over 50 years.
My takeaway is build the wall, Trent. Build the wall along that offensive line because as many Nooners have pointed out to us on the text line, 3 of the 4 teams playing for bids to the Super Bowl yesterday had top 5 interior offensive lines. Don't be afraid to build some depth in the trenches.
The barbecue's got the T-shirt mocked up, the Gray Wall of Duval. We're just waiting to print that bad boy. Just waiting.
So my takeaway is the same as it was Friday, if you remember. I said 2 words, Pat Mahomes.
Yeah.
My takeaway again, Pat Mahomes.
Yeah, my takeaway is damn you, Dan, okay?
Damn you, Dan.
Okay, because we had it all, friend. We had it all. 19-1 choice. Okay?
Could have been a contender.
Oh, my gosh. And then it all went away. All right, we are out. We say thanks to Mocama Beer Company. Look for them in beautiful Fernandina, South 8th Street, right as you're entering the historic district. You'll see them on the left-hand side if you're heading into downtown Fernandina, and a beautiful tap room, and then also the Wildlight location over in Wildlight just as soon as you start heading, and you'll be able to find their satellite location. Check them out, mocama.com, and you can pick up some of that great craft at ABC or Total. We are out. Joe C., Mia O'Brien, Matty Hayes, Big Searcy, and JJ. Frangie Show up next.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL. Making radio in Jacksonville more fun.
All of Jumanji, thanks.
Because you can use a little more fun in your day. 1010XL, Jacksonville Sports Radio.
Visit Monahan Jewelers now through Valentine's Day for savings on all GIA certified diamonds and discounts store-wide up to 40% off. And interest-free financing on all purchases. Certified diamonds, gemstones, engagement rings, diamond studs, designer brands. Monahan's has it all. We're not a chain store. We're your local family jeweler since 1977 with a world-class inventory of fine jewelry and diamonds and gemstones available in any size. Support your local family jeweler now through Valentine's with huge savings on our inventory. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Listen up, all you Ospreys. UNF homecoming is just around the corner. You won't want to miss all the festivities, especially the Birds of Trey, as the UNF men's basketball team plays host to Central Arkansas Saturday, February 10th at UNF Arena, tipping off at 2 o'clock. Show off your Osprey pride and reconnect with your alma mater. That's Saturday, February 10th at 2 p.m. Visit UNFOspreys.com for tickets and more information. UNFOspreys.com. Swoop, swoop, swoop.
Good friends and great memories. Everybody hopes to have a bunch of them. The best way to make more is when you're out for a good time, keep an eye on your friends and make sure everyone gets home safe. Anheuser-Busch reminding you to always drink responsibly.
The big game is in the near future, and Sonny's Barbecue is here to help. For your chance to win a barbecue feast for the big game, text Sonny's to 641-1010. Sonny's Barbecue, local pitmaster since '68.
Northeast Florida's highest-rated residential home electrical contractor is American Electrical, providing unsurpassed quality in Duval, St. Johns, Clay, and Nassau counties. No matter your electrical problem or project, large or small, American Electrical will get it done at a price that's right. High-quality electrician, that's who they are. Trust a company that's been on the First Coast for decades, proudly serving the community while being a big part of the community. Call American Electrical for all your electric needs at 737-7770. Wired right at a fair price.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
When all you have is a hammer, everything is a nail. I'm Dr. George Bari, and like me, I know you have been bombarded with PRP and stem cell treatments from companies that promise the world and charge prices to match. Or the surgeon that convinced you the only way to treat your injuries through surgery. At Bari Orthopedics, we offer the best PRP treatment on the market with prices that won't cost you an arm and a leg. We also have the expertise to